straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's college season, and parents have a lot to consider.
You can say that again.
You got 6 college visits.
2 down.
18 care packages.
I know my baby.
Then there's Parents' Weekend.
Just one?
Speaking of, when you get a Citizen student loan with multi-year approval, all you need is one easy application. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one and done. Citizens, made ready.
Heading down the shore? Looking for that perfect place for dinner and cocktails? Then you have to visit Mulligan's Shore Bar in Wildwood. Mulligan's is the perfect neighborhood bar with great food, drink specials, live entertainment, and reasonable prices. Stop into Mulligan's and be greeted by their friendly staff who will list out all the weekly and daily food and cocktail specials. Mulligan's Shore Bar is at 310 Hildreth Avenue, just off Rio Grande in Wildwood. Check them out on Facebook. Mulligan's Shore Bar and Grill.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Officials say Mark Dial is the officer who shot and killed a man in Kensington on Monday. Former President Donald Trump canceled a news conference for next week, citing the advice of his lawyers. Maui's top emergency officials resigned just a day after defending his decision to not use emergency sirens during the wildfire.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3.
Philadelphia.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Live and local from Philadelphia.
Free speech lives here.
It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on Friday, August 18th. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube. As we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210, the phone number, Twitter and Instagram at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stensland with the news Greg Stocker is the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Torenzo, our associate producers. We made it. The weekend is upon us. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Yes. Gregory.
Yeah, buddy. Friday. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Hurricane Hillary, now a Category 4 storm.
What?
Yes. Coming up through the West Coast.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Not a political commentary.
No, it's kind of moving in a crooked pattern.
What are you talking about?
Meanwhile, it won't affect us because we're on the East Coast. Good stuff today. We've got a Bidenomics economy big take coming up. Also, Joe Biden and the Biden administration, fake email addresses, pseudonyms, aliases, mustache kits, fake glasses, the whole bit. Wow.
Nice, a nice slow Friday in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Trump, Bud, Tucker, Barnes & Noble, Animal House. We got all sorts of stuff today. Good mix. But before we get to all of that, you watch the Eagles game last night?
Yep.
You wager on it?
I don't bet on preseason games.
Okay, just a second.
But, boy, Marcus Mariota.
What a bum.
Oh.
What a stiff.
Got booed.
He did. Bring back Nick Foles. So they're all yelling about on Twitter today.
Come on, it's preseason, people.
I know.
Let's calm down.
Imagine spending 4 hours this morning on a different station arguing about who should be the backup quarterback.
Well, that's going to be the.
Thank God I don't have to do it.
That's going to be the. And how many Eagles were carried off in stretchers yesterday? Last night.
I know. It was unbelievable.
Too many.
Yeah.
It was like watching members of Congress at 90 years old just being wheeled out. Unreal. All right, let's get the news. 6:05, round number 1 here on a Friday. We go to the great Dawn Stensland.
And thank you. Good morning. 77 degrees as we begin this Friday morning, August 18th. We'll talk about all thing Eagles in a moment, give the final there. But we have a situation in Philadelphia under investigation. This is a brutal, deadly beating of a 60-year-old man during a carjacking in Philadelphia's Northern Liberties neighborhood. So they say this happened just after 10 p.m., 3rd and Cambridge in Philadelphia. And this man was apparently waiting in his Toyota SUV, waiting for somebody else to come out. And so he's waiting in the vehicle. Police say that what happens here is that two guys on these ATVs pull up. Apparently there was some kind of a struggle. They're trying to boot him out of the vehicle, and there's a back and forth, and they just pummel this man, beating him brutally, especially in his head. So medics rushing him to the hospital. He died less than an hour later.
Two guys roll up with ATVs, beat a man waiting to pick up somebody to death.
It is damn Mad Max in this freaking city.
Oh, my God.
ATVs.
Those guys get captured. Automatic death penalty. You're done.
Something needs to be done. It is so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Scumbags.
So frustrating.
And the worst part is, and not that it would even make it even more justified or validated, these sound like untarget, like just really? Well, no vendetta, no past history with the guy or whatever. Not that that would be an excuse, but you just go up and just bludgeon somebody.
What I infer from police initially is that essentially, if you're sitting outside, if you're waiting to pick somebody up, you're a sitting duck.
It's unbelievable.
That's what I personally infer from this.
It's like living in a war zone.
I know. My God.
I mean, we have producers here who live in Northern Liberties. Like it's supposed to be a nice place for young people.
Yeah.
It's just it's disgraceful.
Right.
It is absolutely disgraceful. Nothing will happen. Nobody. They won't find these kids.
No.
And they're kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, rolling up on an ATV.
It's just.
So they found the Toyota Highlander in Camden because nowadays all the vehicles you can track, right?
Yeah.
So they pretty quickly found it in Camden.
Yeah.
But one took off. One of the guys on a dirt bike, I guess. So one takes off. That's my question. Were there 3 guys? Or I guess 2 guys pulled up on the same vehicle, then one drives the dirt bike off or whatever, and then the other one takes the car.
And I've got to imagine there's pretty good surveillance on the streets in that area of Northern Liberties.
Yeah, so that's the good part.
Good.
But it's a real tragedy to hear about this and wake up. Sorry. I feel like I have to apologize to begin the news with that, but it's just disturbing.
I thought my blood wasn't going to boil until I got to the big take. 6:07, I'm steamed up now.
So let's talk about the fact that we have new information in the Philadelphia police situation with an officer-involved shooting. This is a shooting and killing of a 27-year-old Kensington man. We've been talking about this since Monday morning, but this comes after police revealed new information. And ultimately, the report is there was a narrative that was changed as to what happened. We don't know what happened in the chain of communication here. So there are so many questions swirling. But more than 72 hours after the fatal incident, I should say, Philadelphia police are naming the officer as Mark Dial, a 5-year veteran of the force. That's pretty much all we're being told. And there is body camera. There is an investigation. The difference here is that, remember, we have this relatively newly formed Citizens Police Oversight Commission, and they're actively monitoring the investigation. So this new Citizens Police Oversight Commission has some citizens on it. So they are mandated to go to the scene. So they were at the scene. This is the first that we've seen like this in the city of Philadelphia, where we have this new commission. Mm-hmm. So it's a real test as to how it works, whether it works. And the idea was to involve some citizens to have more transparency. They're trying to have more transparency. And so we will follow this very carefully. 27-year-old man identified as Eddie Jose Irizarry. His family saying he did not understand English very well, didn't speak English very well, and may have had some mental health issues. Was that an issue here? We still wait to hear. Just a headline, as far as the Idaho college killings, which made national headlines, of course, that suspect led police to arrest Brian Koberger of Pennsylvania. So now there's a back and forth as prosecutors are challenging the defense attorney's request to toss the indictment. So we will follow that one as well.
Toss the indictment?
They want to toss it because they're questioning how they arrived at the DNA evidence. Remember, there was involvement with the DNA pool, so-called, how they narrowed that down. So there's some evidence into DNA and maybe shades of O.J. Simpson here, talking about
manufacturing of evidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take that, Dr. Fung. Remember that whole thing?
Yep.
So it's kind of one of those situations with a twist, because we have all of these genealogy services that led them to Pennsylvania and to this arrest.
Gotcha.
And I know Nick will talk about this. One of the headlines this morning, former President Donald Trump canceling that press conference scheduled for Monday in Bedminster in New Jersey. A wise decision we'll talk about. No doubt we'll be talking about that one. Among other, my goodness, so many headlines this morning. But we have to talk about our Eagles. Tie the Browns, 18-18. The story is a lot of injuries with our Eagles taken off in stretchers and others. And the battle of the QBs, a lot of debate this morning. Everybody's saying, is it the second string or the third string?
Marcus Mariota versus Tanner McKee.
Your thoughts.
Your thoughts. 215.
I can't shake this guy. I mean, when I was doing sports here at the end of my time in Philadelphia, it was, we got to give up every draft pick we have to get Marcus Mariota. Good thing we didn't, because you would not have won the Super Bowl 2 years later. Then I go to Nashville, and Mariota's the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I leave Nashville and do work for Atlanta in Odyssey. Mariota becomes an Atlanta Falcon. And then I come back to Philadelphia, and here's Mariota again. He's like the bubonic plague. He's like COVID.
Come on.
I can't get rid of him.
Give him a break.
Everywhere I go, this guy is.
Yeah, what was the excuse last night? He was hurt, right?
He's a nice guy, though.
Okay.
He's the kind of guy you want your daughter to marry.
It's the preseason, people.
Yes.
Simmer down.
Are you worried about the Eagles' slow start? 215-59.
Oh, God.
Just an update, because it is disturbing whenever you see, in this case, Eagles wide receiver Tyree Cleveland, rookie defensive tackle Moro Ajomo. Is it a Jomo or a Homo? I think it's a Jomo,
It's a
right?
Jomo, yeah.
And they were carted off.
It's a homo.
I mean, it could be.
I think it's a Jomo. I mean, come on.
God. Shows in the gutter already.
We're 12-year-olds. This is Beavis and Butthead, man.
Yes. Bring us back, Don. Bring us back.
You said it right the first time, a Jomo.
A Jomo. That's what we were. They were carted off the field on, backboards. We heard about neck injuries. So now we're being told that they did have movement in all their extremities. Thank God. And we know that there were others taken off in carts and injuries and so on and so forth. So we'll follow up with those. But my heart goes out to Mariota. Come on, people. It's the preseason.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine.
You're being the football mom here.
I know.
You are.
I know. And that's the piece of it. If you have family members who've played football and you've seen these injuries, your heart is in your throat.
Yep.
Yeah, because these are, I think the Cleveland guy was a rookie, right? You know what I mean? So these are young kids.
Yeah. And the serious injuries, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they said they were both neck injuries, but they felt all their extremities. So
That's good.
Thank God.
Yep.
And thank God for the forecast. I know we have some, we have this, what they're saying, a cold front. I'm not a meteorologist. NBC 10 first alert forecast. Cold front moving through, some showers moving through, but that is going to tee us up for an 83-degree day with lower humidity. So there are some T-storms still rolling through this morning, but that will clear out. We will see a beautiful sunny day for your Friday. Might see some breeziness, breeze moving through, right, this afternoon. But Saturday and Sunday, gorgeous and sunny. Saturday, 81 degrees. And Sunday, much hotter, 89. So still lower humidity for the weekend. Starts to peak, starts to roll back on Sunday. But Monday, looking at the forecast, 94 degrees.
Yeah.
A lot of schools, not Philadelphia, but a lot of schools are heading back, and a lot of local colleges. You're going to have a lot of move-ins this weekend and Monday. So 94 and moving back into the dorms, people.
It's too hot. We're going to start virtual this year, folks. We can't go to class in the 90s.
True.
This is Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:14. Let's wrap up the week with one final big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
The big take this morning, Bidenomics and the decline of the American family. Here we are on Friday, August 18th, and it's quite a tough time for families in the United States that live paycheck to paycheck. We're coming down the stretch of the summer. That week-long summer vacation would be nice. Perhaps a trip to the beach, Disney, or even a cross-country trek. But that's expensive, and the expenses don't stop after August ends. As Dawn just mentioned, back to school right around the corner, sneakers, clothes, school supplies, book bags. Before you know it, the holidays are upon us. It adds up, and it adds up quickly. But don't worry, Bidenomics is working, and the people should feel good about their newfound financial freedom with everything that Bidenomics gives us. Actually, that's a big steaming pile of crap. Bidenomics is incredibly lame, both in what it claims to be, as well as the cheap play on words. We love a good story, but the reality is facts matter. And here are the facts. Since Joe Biden took office, prices are up 16.9%. Real wages are down by about 3%. That's a swing of 20% in the wrong direction. The nationwide average for regular gas up $1.48 per gallon. Americans have paid more than $2,250 in increased energy costs. Americans' savings, their real incomes, and their economic confidence are all down. Households are spending $709 more than they did 2 years ago for the same goods and services. Credit card debt is at an all-time high, as credit card delinquencies have actually surpassed pre-pandemic levels. Americans are being punished by the highest interest rates in 22 years. Nearly 20 million American households are behind on their utility bills. 60% of workers report living paycheck to paycheck, including 73% of millennials. Nearly 75% of Americans say their financial situation is not improving, while almost half say it's actively getting worse. And most Americans think the country is on the wrong track, while Americans have lost, on average, $10,000 paying the increased costs of living under Joe Biden. That, in a nutshell, is all factual, and that is what Bidenomics actually is. But don't take it from me. Let's hear from his second in command, Kamala Harris. Here's the Veep.
Bidenomics. And Bidenomics is working.
Bidenomics is working. I'm not sure exactly who it's working for, and if that made your blood boil, that was not my intention, so I do apologize if your body temperature's just spiked at 6:17 here on a Friday morning. But how about this for a conflicting message? Here's the big guy on his plan and his witty VP contradicting herself from the previous clip we just played for you. Take a listen.
With all due respect to them, our plan is working. It's working.
Most Americans are a $400 unexpected expense away from bankruptcy.
The wealthiest nation on the planet, and most of us are a $400 unexpected expense away from financial ruin. Imagine knowing all of this and still voting for these stooges in November 2024. But hey, at least there's no mean tweets and the orange man will be in an orange jumpsuit, right? You guys are biased. You're not Biden supporters. You're right. I'm not. But how about this column from The Hill? Headline, Bidenomics has failed as both a policy and a slogan. Here's an excerpt. It is bad enough that Americans are piling up mountains of high-interest credit card debt and falling behind on utilities. But far more alarming is the rate at which people living under Bidenomics are withdrawing funds early from their retirement plans. Typically, those with 401k plans or other retirement investment vehicles are reluctant to withdraw from these plans before they reach retirement age because they're forced to pay penalties if they do so. But desperate times are changing their habits. As CNN recently noted, quote, the number of people who made a hardship withdrawal during the second quarter of 2023 surged from the first 3 months of the year to 15,950 people, an increase of 36% from the second quarter of 2022. And note that this is all post-COVID. So why is all of this happening? Well, you can thank Joe for his anti-fossil fuel stance on energy. You can also pin this on Biden's spending, $4.8 trillion in new borrowing, heavy regulations, chaos at the southern border. It's no wonder why only 33% of Americans approve of Bidenomics. And as I always say, when I hear the number of an approval, I'd like to say, I want to talk to those 33% that actually are on board with Bidenomics. I don't know how they could possibly be so. But I'd love to ask those people why and how. But then again, those are the same people that are probably going to vote for this guy again or the Democratic Party in November of 2024. Bidenomics, it's doing anything but working. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
Big take this morning. If you want to jump in, 855-839-1210, the phone number. You can get involved on Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. Or, of course, on YouTube. Be a part of the Kayal and Company comment community. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the like and subscribe buttons and have your comments heard. Come back, get some thoughts on that. And then also, Joe Biden and his pseudonym and his fake email address. That story, plus how the Biden administration are treating two different individuals from two dates that will live in infamy. We'll explain what we mean coming up next. It's Kayal and Company, live on a Friday morning here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Dom Giordano's charging up his golf cart and heading back down the shore.
From Mulligan's at 310 West Hildreth. No power outage here. Nothing is stopping this train.
This afternoon, join the fun for Dom's live broadcast. Noon till 3 at Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill. 310 West Hildreth Avenue, Wildwood. Summer's almost over, so don't miss your chance to enjoy the beach boardwalk and some beers with Dom at Mulligan's. Today at noon on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
For over a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. It's also the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. A new bill in Congress would ensure this free, reliable service remains in cars. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Volvo Finance, in concert with Cherry Hill Volvo, is offering lease and cash bonuses up to $2,500. Purchase or lease a new XC40 or XC90 through Volvo Finance and through Cherry Hill Volvo and receive this additional bonus along with the aggressive pricing already posted on our Cherry Hill Volvo website. This is a special offer and it is not to be missed. Volvo Finance and Cherry Hill Volvo and you, a perfect partnership.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you feel like you're always looking for another energy boost? Then try Rescue Orazine. from Rescue Natural Supplements. As we age, our bodies don't tend to produce enough natural fuel to get rid of that stubborn feeling of fatigue. Well, Rescue Orosine provides just that. Orosine helps by boosting energy production at the cellular level while also supporting a healthy heart and blood pressure. Right now, our exclusive radio listeners can buy one bottle of Orosine, get another one free. Just use the code FUEL when placing your order. Call today, 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Make sure you mention the code FUEL, F-U-E-L, when you call, or use the code at the online checkout. Again, use the code FUEL when buying a single bottle of Orosine to receive a second bottle free.
Sebastian Maniscalco, live in Atlantic City.
Like when we went to the zoo as kids, that's all you got was the zoo. You ate in the car before we go in. What? They got food inside. You think I'm gonna pay? And when you got hungry, you left. Dad, I'm hungry. Okay, let's go.
Sebastian Maniscalco, Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa for 10 shows from November 9th through 18th. Get tickets now at theborgata.com.
If the market volatility of the past year has made you nervous about your retirement future, you're not alone.
So many people are waiting for the perfect time to retire. And those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
That doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 20 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, now on Saturday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It is Kayal and Company live here on a Friday morning. Great to have all of you in as we make our way towards the weekend. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. Or, of course, be heard at 855-839-1210. Some really interesting stuff just to show you how on the ball this program really is. I know sometimes people think, oh, my God, you guys are like a train wreck. No, we're a coordinated train wreck. It's all by design here on this program.
Love it.
Because Stalker's been on the record saying that Fox News is going to be A-OK. And we've got the proof that actually is going to be vindicated and validated. We'll get to that. Also, Tucker Carlson sitting down in his latest Tucker on Twitter episode with the man that we did a big take on Wednesday, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Wow.
Yes, so it's kind of like we're ahead of the curve there. And weren't we discussing on this show yesterday or Wednesday that how cool would it be if Trump kind of did like a counter-programming to the debate?
Absolutely.
Well, CNN's got some stuff floating out there, and I think maybe they've been eavesdropping on this program.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're usually ahead of the curve.
Always.
But I do want to get to...
Wait a minute. Maybe it's just Trump.
Well,
Maybe
that's true.
Trump's team, I think, is listening.
That's good.
And they're like, that's a good idea, Nick Kayal.
Well, I don't think I had that idea. I think that might have been Dawn, actually, that had the idea about the counter-programming idea.
Everything that's said on the show is part of the show. So
That's correct.
Nobody
That's
can
right.
take credit.
All right.
Unless you want to.
Exactly.
Then feel free to take credit.
Well, who gets credit for Bidenomics? Because that's what I got to get to the bottom of.
Yeah.
And the thing that triggered this big take this morning was I was FaceTiming with my daughters yesterday, and Olivia says to me, and now she's going to be 9 years old in a couple of weeks, and she doesn't know what the price of a book bag is as far as whether that's too much, whether that's cheap, or just about right. And I'm FaceTiming with her, and she's like, Dad, can you believe that my book bag was $54? And I said, well, actually, no, I did not. I mean, I know things are, and I almost fell off my couch. So when
$54.
$54. Now, I don't know. I mean, I thought back maybe like when I was in school, $35, $40 for like the the JanSport backpack, which was like the popular one, the good one to have when you were a kid and you were concerned about what do I have, the good one or the Bobo one? I don't want to be laughed at school. So I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I have 2 daughters, so $108 on book bags. I'm like, these things better last until they get to 10th grade. And I'm just thinking of the cost, and then
What kind of book bags were they?
Like animated Snow White, who knows, some Disney character. I don't know exactly.
Y'all got to go to Walmart.
Yeah, I trust me. I think it was either Walmart, Sam's Club, or Target, or I don't know where they went. But I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking of all the prices. I'm like, okay, so then we got to factor in, sneakers, and the kids' feet at this age grow every 2 months. The school supplies. I'm thinking this is like for 2 kids. This is $500 to $1,000 just to get back to class.
Yeah, I'll have a report coming up at 7:45 about how much it's actually going to cost the average American for back to school supplies. That's coming up at 7:45.
Okay. And the reason I wanted to bring this up, I know, Dawn, you always like to talk about the economy, and you're always tracking like the Fed and interest rates. And some of these numbers, and by the way, all those stats I gave you were courtesy of the RNC. Prices up 16.9%. Real wages down about 3%. $1.50 more for a gallon of gas. Credit card debt. I mean, people are behind on utility bills. And then you hear those clips of Kamala and Joe. It's working. It's called Bidenomics. And then Kamala comes out and completely if we're all doing so well, we should be able to withstand the unexpected $400 charge for a car maintenance report, or something goes awry in our garage, our freezer breaks or something, and we're all $400 away from being up what's creek. So I just figured I would pass that along and see if you had any thoughts on that, Dawn, because I know you keep track of this stuff.
Yeah, I just thought for little kids, even at Target, they're $16. At Walmart, they're $14.
Dawn is trying to find you a good backpack.
Take
it back.
I know.
It's too expensive.
I'm not kidding you. I would say, like, the most expensive one. I mean, unless it's the JanSport one, but they're at the age they don't need JanSport.
Yeah, I don't think it was that at all. I think it was some plastic animated,
Yeah, those are $14 to at most $20.
I'm fired
even
up.
at Target.
I'm going to need to see receipts the whole bit. I'm going to have to do a Kayal Financial Crisis Summit meeting Saturday morning.
No, but I think this is a Walmart economy. I think more and more people are, I'm a bargain shopper.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And you talk to other people, there are different social sites that you get on, and you're just like, where did you find this?
Yeah.
Right now, my struggle is, my football player who's now, he's a size 13.5 shoe.
Yeah, what size cleats? What price are you paying for cleats?
Well, that's the issue. So we thought these cleats were okay from last year, and now he comes home and his toes are all taped up and bloody.
Oh.
Because he didn't want to tell us. He's like, oh, this is fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he needs new cleats.
So his toes were actually sticking out of the cleats like a Flintstone, and he tried to save you money.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
So, and that's the thing. Now, there are sites for school sites, like neighborhood sites, where people are starting to form these, especially moms.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, we've got cleats, and sometimes the schools, they'll bring.
Okay.
But this, Bidenomics, this is Bidenomics.
Yes. I mean, I know my ex-wife will have like this Facebook, it's called a Facebook Marketplace, I think it's called. I'm not sure. I haven't been on Facebook in 10 years, but like you have these, especially in your neighborhood, like with people that you know, and you create this page, and like people just buy and sell used goods that are in good shape just because going to buy a brand new product, it's just not financially prudent.
Yeah, and some people, even if they're moving or whatever, I've got these things, you can have them. And sometimes it's on those neighborhood sites.
Yeah.
Which you have to sign on so they know your identity and who you are.
It's like a digital yard sale.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But all of this is Bidenomics. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody, to your point.
Just unbelievable.
And I met a guy yesterday. I took Michael to Piazza at Springfield. Did you meet with Abe?
Yeah.
Abe,
Yeah.
Great guy,
yes.
right? So he was talking about, oh, thank God, his family, they bought a home a couple of years ago, locked into those interest rates.
Yeah.
Because now that's why nobody's buying homes.
Yeah.
The interest rates are, this is the topic. Everybody's talking about, the economy, how to save, how to get the best deal.
Yep.
And just any kind of, like you're saying, community, group share, anything to try to save a buck.
Let's not bury the lead here. Did Michael get the 2023 Ridgeline?
No, he is looking at a Honda. Accord, and so we're going back today. So we did a test drive. You know,
Beautiful.
It was
Beautiful.
it was his face was just like he was.
He was ecstatic.
It's a great
There you go. 855-839-1210, the phone number. So who is Robert L. Peters? Does anybody know Robert L. Peters? Is there a Robert L. Peters in attendance? Can I raise your hand if so?
That's my favorite story.
This is a remarkable story. So James Comer, we know Comer's been going after the Biden family. You know, we've got all of these subpoenas and testimony and Devin Archer this and that, the whole bit, right? So Comer is now asking NARA, the National Archives, for Biden's emails because Joe Biden, and by the way, Comer wants these as redacted, unredacted documents, nothing to be withheld. The American people need to know. So Comer sent a letter to the National Archives and Records Administration yesterday demanding unredacted documents sent by Joe Biden under a pseudonym while he was vice president to be turned over to the House. He goes on to say that Joe Biden has stated there was an absolute wall between his family's foreign business schemes and his duties as vice president. But evidence reveals that access was wide open for his family's influence peddling, Comer said in a statement. Comer is also asking for documents and communications in which Biden used a pseudonym that included Hunter Biden or his business partners Eric Schwerin and Devin Archer, and all of the drafts of the speech that Biden delivered to the Ukrainian legislator in December of 2015. And according to the New York Post, I believe this was Miranda Devine, who's been all over this stuff with the Biden family, Biden has previously used the email address robert.l.peters@pci.gov as vice president, and Hunter was copied and CC'd on 10 different emails containing info about Biden's daily schedule. Moreover, Comer's request to the National Archives request records where Biden used other pseudonyms, so Joe's got a lot of aliases here, including Robbing Ware, R-O-B-I-N-G, very interesting first name.
Robin Ware?
No, Robbing. Like robbing somebody with only one B, R-O-B-I-N-G, and then the last name Ware, and J.R.B. Ware. Not J.R. Ewing from Dallas, J.R.B. Ware, as in
Joseph Robinette.
Yeah, Joseph Robinette Biden. That's his name.
I think Robert L. Peters was much more creative. I don't feel like I hear Biden when I hear Robert L. Peters. But this is, again, the levels to which, and oh, by the way, you get deplatformed. Like if you're Glenn Beck on Apple and you ask the question, who's the real crime family, the Trump family or the Biden family? Robert L. Peters, very interesting approach. Some people have burner accounts, burner phones, parody accounts. WhatsApp. I mean, this is almost a decade worth of evidence to go undetected for your family's influence peddling scheme. Shell companies, 20 of them, bank records, deposits, everybody making money based off of what did they do to earn that money? A whole bunch of nothing. So
nothing to see here.
Nothing to
Mr.
see here.
Kayal,
Let's just keep it moving. Now that we actually have a Robert L. Peters email address, expect Trump indictment 5 Monday morning.
Oh my God.
He's been indicted in South Dakota because he didn't give a proper tip at a Waffle House.
Waffle House.
It's coming. And let me get to this. Last thing on the Biden front. And we've got some photos that we're going to put up for you in a second. But I want to compare. And I don't know if this is a perfect comparison. It probably is not. But I saw this story about January 6th and J6 prisoners and the way they are being treated. And we've covered some of these stories for sure about, the right to a trial and due process and everything. And now also in the news is the Biden administration telling 9/11 families that the attack mastermind, if you've seen that disheveled picture of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed for 20 plus years now. So the Pentagon and the FBI have notified some of the families of victims of the 9/11 attacks that suspected terrorist mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 other defendants could be spared the death penalty under plea agreements that are being considered by the Biden administration. So I want to just take. You've got, 2,973 Americans that were murdered on 9/11. And then you have January 6, 2021, where one individual died, Ashley Babbitt. And by no stretch am I saying that these 9/11 prisoners have been held up at like a 5-star Hilton, Guantanamo Bay, waterboarded, the whole bit. Like they've had their share of punishment, and they deserve every bit of it. And I'm consistent. Look, if you were at the Capitol on January 6th and you were one of the people that were legitimately there, not a planted official or anything like that, and you violated the law, you deserve to be dealt with. But I'm watching some of these pictures here, and I don't know if we have them up on YouTube or not, but I know that was one of the plans. There is images of this man that was sitting essentially for 5.5 months. Ryan Samsel is a January 6th political prisoner, and he has been held in prison without trial now since January of 2021. During his 2.5 years without trial, and this is, you can see this story on thegatewaypundit.com if you want to follow along.
Yeah, if you want to see the photos, by the way, we're putting them up right now. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT, YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. They're up right now.
Yes, and during his 2.5 years without trial, this individual, Ryan Samsel, has been moved around to 17 different facilities. He has been beaten, abused, tortured, and neglected since his arrest in January of 2021. And earlier this week, the Gateway Pundit received exclusive photos from Ryan Samsel's prison cell at the FDC right here in Philadelphia.
And to describe it, Nick, for the people who are listening, it's
the mop closet.
It's the size of a closet.
Yes.
I mean, he could, if you stood upright and you stretch your arms out, you couldn't do it. Right. That's how tight that space is.
Yes, and it's got a yellow bucket, which is his toilet, and he's like on if you've ever been to like a gymnastics center, like one of those blue tumbling mats.
Yeah.
And my daughters have a bunch of these. He's laying on a tumbling mat in underwear. He's got a bottle of water, and it looks like where the yellow bucket is like where you would put the bucket with the mop if you were the janitor and you just got done dumping out the water from mopping the floors in a school.
Yep.
This is a guy, and again, I don't condone anything about January 6th, but this is a guy who's been sitting there, and he's been in that type of treatment for 5.5 months, 17 different facilities, and held without a trial for 2.5 years over what occurred on January 6th. Yet this administration is actually considering not giving the death penalty to the mastermind of a man that murdered 3,000 Americans. I don't know if it's an apples-to-apples comparison, but I feel like something's wrong here. Something's off. And I'm not saying, well, we don't treat Americans this way, and like this guy deserves to be in jail or whatever. But Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's going to be spared? He should have been dead 10 years ago.
So we're saying that this guy, or the report is that this guy was in this cell for 5.5 months?
That's what I believe I just read.
By the way, all
Moved
these
around 17 times in 2.5 years.
All these photos are exclusively from the Gateway Pundit.
Yes.
I just want to give proper credit for
Ryan,
putting them up there.
Ryan told the Gateway Pundit in a conversation this week, quote, "I was kept in a hard cell, and in that particular cell about 5-6 months. So, yeah, for about 5.5 months. I even told you what was happening is the judge was actually calling, trying to get in contact with me because I wasn't in a named cell. They were missing me, and they were saying I wasn't showing up to court. They were saying I wasn't showing up to medical, but they were pretty much keeping me in there. Like I said, it was cold, the light was on all the time, and there was zero window. And that allowed me, and that followed me from Virginia. When I was in Virginia, it was the same exact conditions. So imagine, I mean, we know as like human beings, we don't deal well with isolation. Right? Quarantine, pandemic, stay home, lockdown, much less in a jail setting. And imagine being in this broom closet where the light's on 24/7. They're trying to break the guy.
Yeah, and that's just it. The reason they're doing this, in my opinion, and it's consistent with all the cases, is it was like a net, and they just captured all of these individuals, and they're still looking for people.
Mm-hmm.
How we've recently reported within the past month of people that they're still arresting because of video recognition, facial recognition. And so this is consistent with what we've been talking about, that they get somebody like this and they break them down so that they testify, they either plead or they testify against others.
Right.
By the way, we don't, let me just say this, we don't know the full story of why this guy was in
We're
here.
just going based off this website.
However, if it's as it seems, like where's the ACLU? I mean, they were all over.
Yeah.
They were all over Gitmo.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, and I'm not one that, look, you do something wrong and,
right.
you find yourself behind bars. I have no sympathy for the treatment you get.
Right.
But
like, this is human rights though, right?
Yeah. And what, it's not like this is some hardened criminal.
No.
You know what I mean? So
or like I mean, well, I remember, and I know this is just a Hollywood movie, but this is actually what goes on when, if you have ever watched, from 2012 through 2014, you had Lone Survivor, you had American Sniper, and you had Zero Dark 30. A lot of movies made about 9/11, the Middle East, Afghanistan. And in Zero Dark 30, when they catch some of these suspected terrorists, they were waterboarding them, they were putting them in dog cages, and it's all meant to break you down and have you completely erode mentally and snap, and then give them the information they want.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing to this guy.
By the way, this is a local story, too, because I believe this is at a Philadelphia prison.
Yes.
Yeah. So
FDC.
Daniel, can you put the photos up one more time? If you want to see them, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, @1210WPHT on YouTube. Please hit the like button.
I mean, essentially, and then I'm starting to think last night about this. I'm looking and reading through this story. So they're doing this to set a precedent. Obviously, the way they've handled people with trial to set a precedent to say that in the event this happens in the future, just so you know, this is what's going to happen. And then I have the thought of Chuck Schumer going through my head again, where he said about Trump, you challenge the establishment and the feds and you're going to lose. And he gave that warning 6 years ago. And it's just like you start to add all this up and you realize just what's going on.
Quick question for you guys, though. Who would be taking these pictures?
That's a great question. I don't know. Prison officials?
But, okay. Like, I understand what you're saying, but like somebody's in there with them and they're taking pictures. I
don't know if it was a correctional officer, a social worker, just to verify that, hey, this is where he's being held. So other superiors. But then again, he's claiming that I was supposed to be in court and nobody knew where I was because I was basically in an unmarked closet.
I think it looks to me at some point he has either a court-appointed attorney, family member, somebody had a chance to either tap into a surveillance image of this and post it.
Yep.
Or somebody, it had to be a lawyer because a family member wouldn't be allowed back there.
Yeah.
Right? So it has to me, it has to be his attorney.
Is this guy from this area? Is that why he's in a Philadelphia prison?
That I don't know.
He must be, right?
I know he was in Virginia. Yeah, I don't see anything in the story that says where he's from specifically.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they wanted him to rat out the Proud Boys.
That's why he. Oh, wow.
He believes the government tortured him for months so he could rat out the Proud Boys. They even beat Ryan numerous times and kept him locked down so he couldn't communicate with anyone.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is that's crazy.
Yes. 855-839-1210. Come back. Donald Trump in the news. Counter-programming to next Wednesday's debate. CNN with sources that say it could be Trump and one individual that he's kind of had an interesting relationship with. We will get to that and your calls. 855-839-1210. We're back after this on Kayal & Company.
It's the Saturday Night Free-for-All. Starting at 7 p.m., Talk Radio 1210 WPHT is live and local with Michael Pelka from 7 to 10 p.m.
Idiots are everywhere. You can't swing a cat without hitting an idiot these days. And I'm not endorsing cat swinging.
And Jimmy Fallon, 10 to midnight.
We have a White House where someone is capable of getting anthrax inside and wouldn't be capable of finding out who committed the crime.
The Saturday Night Free-for-All. Listen this weekend. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are partnering again with our Costco members. Purchase a certified 2020, 21, or 22 XC40, XC60, or XC90 and receive an incredible additional discount up to $1,500 off. A discount added to the unbelievably already aggressive pricing at Cherry Hill Volvo. Join us for this special offer. Cherry Hill Volvo and Costco and you, perfect together.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Chip Snapper's trying to figure it all out. Let's talk to him. Hello, Chip.
You can always tell the kids from Kensington on the beach in Wildwood. They build them sandcastles and then they board them up with popsicle sticks.
Hire Joe Conklin for corporate events.
We hired Joe for our sales meeting, and he was hilarious. He had everyone cracking up laughing.
Take your next event up a notch. Hire comedian Joe Conklin. Go to joeconklin.com. Your official home for Penn State football and basketball is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. Listen to every Nittany Lions game on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Tom Giordano at noon. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company, 649. Welcome back in Friday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. What's on the cut sheet coming up in less than 1 hour? 855-839-1210. Free Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Get us on social media as well, at 1210 WPHT. We'll get to the Trump counter-programming possibilities to next Wednesday's debate, August 23rd, and also complete the wall. Americans say yes. Fully 87% of Republicans and even a third of Democrats want to finish the wall. We'll get to those details and why they feel that way coming up in just a few moments. But let me grab one call real quick before we get to this audio from CNN. Doug is in... I don't know what West PA means. I guess the western side of the state. Doug, you're on Talk Radio 1210. You go right ahead.
Hang on.
Dougie.
He's not.
Oh, no. He's gone.
Yeah,
he vanished. He bounced away.
Mm-hmm.
He's in radio purgatory. He's gone.
I sent you the case file on Ryan Samsel.
Yes. Do you have I didn't open it yet, but do you have any details?
It's the D.C. District of Columbia attorney, United States Attorney's Office. So this is from DOJ, and so but it says he was arrested here. So he was arrested in the Philadelphia area.
Gotcha.
However, it looks like you said he's gone around 17 spots, but he was held here. I don't know if he's still held here.
So Michael Pelka is in our. By the way, you can hear him tomorrow night, and I think he's actually in for Zeoli today at 3 to 7 too.
Okay.
He's in our YouTube chat. He says the Samsung guy deserves his rights, but no, he's not an angel. 9 previous convictions, and he is charged with some pretty serious stuff here.
Yeah, forcibly alleged charges: forcibly assaulted, resisted, opposed, impeded, intimidated, or interfered with a federal agent while they are engaged in their official duties. I mean, the problem is these are the overall charges. I don't know what they're accusing him of in common language, but committed or attempted to commit any act to obstruct, impede, or interfere with any firearm or law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
So, like Opelka is saying, the charges are serious. I don't know what he is alleged to have done.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's the visual graphic that gets you, and then also, you know, from a civil liberties standpoint, due process. And maybe we should have a lawyer on. How do you go 2.5 years without having a trial?
Well, that's just it. I mean, no matter what, we have think about in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Where is the Larry Krasner form of justice? Where Krasner, we've seen him where there are murder cases, they're downgraded to a third-degree case. I mean, we could go through so many of them.
Right.
And so something else is obviously going on here to hold somebody 2.5 years, and it has to do with due process. And that was Greg saying, where's the ACLU?
Yeah.
If this guy, the best thing these kind of guys should do, he should say, I identify as pansexual and paint his hair pink.
He'd be staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yep.
Or he prays to Muhammad and he needs a prayer mat, and, he needs to face Mecca or whatever. We would treat him like gold. Honestly, it's the God's honest truth.
We're not even being sarcastic.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, so definitely people listen to Kayal and Company. They pay attention. If it's not them directly, it's their staff. If it's not their staff, it's their close confidants in their inner circle. And
one more update. Michael Pelka, who seemed to have a lot of info on this, he says Ryan Samsel is accused of pushing over barriers and knocking down a police officer, causing her to suffer a concussion during the January 6 riots.
And she's the one, remember, she was one of the first people to testify.
Yeah.
She still suffers all the traumatic head injuries.
Yeah, look,
I don't condone any of that, and I certainly am a defender of police, and I think police, should be able to handle their business the way they need to when somebody attacks them. But we treat murderers in penitentiaries better than this guy.
Yeah.
I get it. He's a bad character and he's got a rap sheet. But, I mean, there's people that have butchered and murdered people that get better treatment than somebody that was at the Capitol on January 6th.
OJ.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson slaughtered two human beings and is playing fantasy football in prison. What?
I'm being your attorney when I slip in the allegedly.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'm your defense attorney.
Thank you very much. So, yes, very interesting that I do believe a lot of people pay attention to what is said on this program. As the YouTube comments will let you know, nothing slips by them. But counter-programming to what Fox is trying to do. Fox is desperately, they have been courting Trump for weeks now to be a part of the debate, trying to sell him on why it's good for him when we all know it's about Fox garnering better ratings and Trump is a huge draw. And we were kind of having fun with this throughout the portions of this week on the show about wouldn't it be interesting if Trump decided to hold a counter-programming on Truth Social or on Twitter Spaces or whatever. Here's CNN and some of their reporters with what they're hearing from sources about what Trump could do with possibly Tucker Carlson. Take a listen.
All right. Well, good morning, Poppy. And yes, you're right. All indications that I'm getting from Donald Trump's team is that he is not going to participate in that debate next week. Of course, with the hedge, which I included in the story, is that this is Donald Trump we're talking about. I've covered him for years, and his team tells me that there's always a small chance that he may decide in the 11th hour that he ultimately wants to go. Of course, there's logistical questions to whether he would even be able to do that, but most likely he will not be on that debate stage next week. And instead, Donald Trump himself has been personally throwing out ideas for counter-programming. There have been discussions between Donald Trump's team and Tucker Carlson about an interview around the same time on Wednesday. Of course, this all comes as Donald Trump is feuding openly with Fox News and Rupert Murdoch, and Tucker Carlson clearly has left Fox News, and so some motivations there, I think, behind the scenes. I'm also told that Donald Trump's team wants some of his surrogates to represent him at the debate, especially if he is not there. People like Byron Donalds, a congressman from Florida, as well as Matt Gaetz, another congressman from Florida, and Kari Lake, the gubernatorial candidate in Arizona. All of these people potentially there to represent him in his absence. And one more thing, Poppy, that I find really interesting that I've been picking up in my conversations is that Donald Trump has been telling people, this week even, that there was a dinner last month where Fox News executives, the president Jay Wallace, as well as their chief executive Suzanne Scott, they traveled to Bedminster and encouraged Donald Trump to participate in the debate. And Trump personally is telling people he thinks that shows that Fox is worried about ratings without him. And so he's feeling like he's in a strong position not to attend.
I wanted to play that because as soon as I heard the Trump could send some of his surrogates there on his behalf, that would be next level for a debate. And with it being August and it being football season, it'd be like, It'd be like Jalen Hurts going on a road game for the Eagles next week, and he doesn't play, but he's got the hat on and he's got the clipboard on the sideline. Can you imagine Trump being like patched in via Zoom, and he's got Byron Donalds out there doing his dirty work, or Matt Gaetz?
That's awesome.
And he's got like a little earpiece. He's like, hit him with this, hit him with this. And then Byron Donald starts going off for 90 seconds. It would be epic.
By the way, Road Warrior, who likes to troll us too on Twitter, says he calls him Samuel, but I think his name is Samsel, right?
Yes, Ryan Samsel.
He is from Bucks. How do you guys not know he's local?
Oh.
Sorry
about that.
I'm not following every
second
of these trials.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Break.
No, and it's hard to get. It's actually hard to get information.
Sorry, Road Warrior. We'll do better.
Yes.
But the truth is that it's hard actually to get information because nobody's covering it.
Right.
And to the information point of it. So I have all the DOJ docs.
Mm-hmm.
They put all of that out, and all of the FBI and the special agents and all that information you can find.
Yeah.
But to find those reporters, and I've tapped into some who essentially have podcasts and they're all over this, but the so-called mainstream media, they're not going to cover any of these trials, try to interview any of these individuals,
course not. No.
Nothing.
It's radio silence on that front. No question. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Say this 10 times fast. We have a Bud Bush buyback possibility. We didn't get to this yesterday, but it's a great story. I want to get to that on the other side. Dawn will have some news to kick off the second hour, and I'll make sure I know Ryan Samsel's Social Security number by the time we come out of the break, so Road Warrior's happy about that. All right, final second hour coming up next as we continue on Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Officials say Mark Dial is the officer who shot and killed a man in Kensington on Monday. Former President Donald Trump canceled a news conference for next week, citing the advice of his lawyers. Maui's top emergency officials resigned just a day after defending his decision to not use emergency sirens during the wildfire.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is a podcast about the art and craft of play-by-play, and we're in the middle of an amazing season. Catch up on episodes with Joe Buck, Joe Davis, Pat Hughes, and more, and learn along with me, Matt Spiegel, how the job is done.
It's not just home run Bryce Harper in the Phillies lead. To really do a job
justice, you got to widen the lens. What does this home run mean?
The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to RINO Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of RINO Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from RINO Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself if you want to paint it one last time or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years. RINO Shield can make your next paint job your last. RINO Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let RINO Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Kayal and Company, 7:03 Friday morning, hour 2 underway. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo here as well. What's on the cut sheet coming up at 7:45? Also, the latest with Tucker Carlson and Fox News, and also a very interesting proposal from the heir of Anheuser-Busch. We will get to that story as we continue. And also 2 other stories in the world of corporate America, one with Walmart and another one with Barnes & Noble, as we've got some individual that apparently likes to sniff books.
What?
Yeah, there's a Barnes & Noble book sniffer story going around, and we will have to talk about this because I have said on this show before I like many different fragrances and scents. I like the way the gas smells on at the gas station that's being pumped. I like the smell of fresh cut grass when Dawn gets done mowing the lawn at 7:45. Not sure I've ever stuck my face in a book.
Oh, you've never smelt?
I've never sniffed a book.
You've never smelt a new book?
No.
Look, I'm not going to go to Barnes & Noble and sniff books, but like
creepy.
If I'm checking out a new book or something like that, give it a sniff.
Joe, we've got another guy in the romance section sniffing the books again.
No, I'm just saying it. You don't like the smell of new books?
No.
Okay.
I used to like the smell of the newspaper.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah. You get that Saturday morning paper, a cup of coffee, and you just.
Dawn, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Am I weird? I'm not a book sniffer.
Oh, so you're actually are you a crazy glue sniffer?
No, well, back in my heyday, maybe.
Sharpie markers.
Yeah, sure.
So you're being serious about the books? You actually you pick up on a scent?
Well, yeah. No,
Yeah, there's a certain paper smell.
I'm not some creep who's going around sniffing books.
So you didn't read when you were in high school, but you did sniff them.
However, the smell of a new book, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not an unpleasant smell.
I'm getting texts now saying I love the smell of a new book.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay. I can't keep up with everything, right? I don't know if you're from Bucks County and you went to the Capitol, all right? I don't know if you sniff books. I can't be on top of everything, folks. I try, but I can't. All right, but one person is Dawn Stensley.
She is.
She does 30 hours of radio a week, and she's here with round 2 of the news.
Yes, here we are, and we are sponsored this Friday morning. We are beginning the day. We're at, 72 degrees. And I know some ominous dark clouds and some showers moving through this morning. That will clear. We'll have the full forecast in just a moment. We are sponsored this morning in Kayal and Company News Live, sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union. So let's talk about what's happening as Philadelphia police, always busy in the overnight hours. This disturbing headline this morning that we're waking up to. Last night, we're told that a pair of carjackers hopped off what appeared to be an illegal dirt bike to assault a man during a carjacking, this in Philadelphia's Northern Liberties neighborhood. And this was before leaving him for dead, as then they made their escape into South Jersey. This is the latest from Philadelphia police.
Okay.
So Philadelphia police officers and actually fire department medics, those EMTs, called to 3rd and Cambridge in Northern Liberties. This was around 9:30, 10 o'clock last night to find this 60-year-old man bleeding badly from head injuries that he sustained. They said he was semi-conscious at that point. They rushed him to the hospital. He died about 39 minutes later.
60 years old, probably picking up a friend or family member.
Yeah.
Last thing that individual was expecting was 2 people or 3 people on an ATV that would end his life for no reason.
So this is police considering this a carjacking and homicide, searching for these 2 young suspects. He was the victim here. He was sitting in a parked black Toyota Highlander, a 2023, so a shiny new vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And these 2 roll up on this illegal dirt bike wearing masks on their faces. And so that would indicate maybe a premeditated situation.
Absolutely.
Wearing the masks, right?
Yep.
So at some point there was a struggle when they're trying to get him out of the vehicle, or, it was brutal.
Yes. This is why I believe everybody should go out and get a firearm and purchase it legally and go through the process. And right there on that little side of your door, and when that guy comes to that door, get out of here.
Yeah, and to your point, Philadelphia police saying don't sit idling in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Be careful when you exit your vehicle or you're going to your parked vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Be as quick as you possibly can. That from Philadelphia police. They're just giving us advice.
And this is in a relatively good neighborhood,
Yeah.
like Greg mentioned in the first hour. Young business professionals, single, really?
The FOP is standing behind the newly named police officer involved in that police-involved shooting. His name revealed as Mark Dial, a 5-year veteran of the force. So he has a defense attorney and the FOP standing behind him as this investigation does continue. And meantime, the Citizens Police Oversight Commission, relatively new, so they're actively monitoring the investigation, and they were called to the scene initially as well. So a real test of this newly formed commission, which, yes, is mandated to go to those scenes. This has to do with 27-year-old Eddie Jose Irizarry, who was killed in the shooting. The Inquirer headline this morning says sources say his windows were rolled up. So this is obviously a controversial situation in Philadelphia, and the investigation is continuing, and obviously an active, ongoing investigation here in Philadelphia. Another headline for you as far as Maui. We've talked a lot about Hawaii, where that death toll continues to arise, and as well, many more victims presumed as they search for them. Could be 1,000 more people still missing.
Mm-hmm.
But Maui's top emergency management official resigned yesterday, one day after he defended his decision not to sound those warning sirens as the wildfire swept across the island.
Wasn't his defense was that it wasn't going to work and save anybody anyway? I heard some sort of quote similar to that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, his name's Herman Andaya, and he's been there a long time. So he said, when people hear the sirens, they think of a tsunami. So they're going to head for higher ground.
Okay.
People would have been rushing toward the fires.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's easy to say that, but you want to alert people, right? I mean, like that's the whole
lack of alerts.
Well, that
president, no comment.
That was the whole issue with this, right? Is that they didn't have a warning system.
Well, we had people talking on Monday about they were basically running to the water to jump into the ocean.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, speaking of the president and no comment, when he was flying to Milwaukee, did you know the tracking of the flight, it literally flies right over East Palestine, Ohio?
Boy.
I just wanted to share that. I saw that, by the way.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We'll talk moving forward about Trump and Trump news as to whether or not, it sounds like he's taking the advice of Nick Kayal on canceling that press conference Monday. So it sounds like he's not going to do a press conference, at least on the case in Bedminster. So maybe he will be holding something public next week.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick has talked a lot about that one as well. And of course, one of the big stories, I think One of the big stories, I'm walking around, the people who are here in the building look so sleepy-eyed. Anthony Terezzo.
Well, he always looks sleepy.
No, but this morning I actually I started his coffee and I said, here's how you do the extra shot of caffeine, because everybody was watching the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's still, even though it was tied and even though we saw some of our guys injured, which it sounds like they're going to be okay, I still think it's exciting. Football season is back.
Oh, yeah, it's a great time
right?
of year. I can smell the struggle in the air. I don't miss it, but I can smell it in the air.
Does it smell like a new book?
No. And by the way, my sister has sent us the definition of book sniffing. Breathing in the scent of a book, often done in secret. And then definition number 2, it's how book nerds get high.
Don't get high off your own supply.
That's right.
This news sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, which is the place for first-time home buyers with in-house realtors and a $500 lender credit for new homeowners. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/FTH for all the details. Loans subject to credit approval, insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 433838, NBC 10 First Alert Forecast. We're going to clear out. Sunny, mostly sunny skies this afternoon. It will be breezy, 83 degrees. The weekend, mid-80s tomorrow, bright sunny skies. And then for your Sunday, 89 degrees and a lot of sunshine in abundance. Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 7:13 Friday morning. The cut sheet just about 30 minutes out. We'll get to some Fox News, Tucker Carlson stories in just a few minutes. But what about a Bud and Busch buyback? That is the latest in the Bud Light saga that now is, I believe, on month number 5 of their never-ending drama, all because they wanted to do business and partner with Dylan Mulvaney. But the Anheuser-Busch heir, Billy Busch, has offered to buy back the company that bears his family name if Anheuser-Busch/InBev, the international beer conglomerate that owns the iconic brand, offers to sell it. Speaking on Outkick, Bush predicted that Anheuser-Busch InBev will experience a long road to recovery, which is obviously very true because we are now 5 months into this debacle, after facing a months-long boycott for partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, if the company can ever recover at all. And if the Belgium-based company wants to offload what may now be a liability. Think about that. Did you ever think we would get to the point where Bud Light was a liability to a beer company?
No.
Bush said he'd be more than happy to buy it back. He says, quote, if they don't want that brand any longer, sell it back to the Bush family. Sell it to me. I'll be the first in line to buy that brand back from you, and we will make that brand great again. A little bit of play on words from Donald Trump. He goes on to say that culture is completely gone now, and the culture he is referring to is what Anheuser-Busch and Bud did to create the culture with their customers and create basically a light beer that Americans enjoyed as an alternative to Budweiser. He says, quote, they knew who their drinkers were, referring to his family and the success they had with creating a base with their customers. Quote, they were with the bar owners and the restaurant owners and the liquor store owners and talking to these people day in and day out. He goes on to say, even my dad at 89 and 90 years old, he was still going to the bars selling Budweiser back in those days. Quote, we've always cared very, very much about the people in America, and what made this company great was America, of course. Current company leadership made a critical error by relying on people that are educated in, quote, woke colleges to run advertising. Bush went on to say, it's how Bud Light, for example, ended up hiring an executive who seemingly looked down upon the blue-collar, fratty image that the Bud Light brand had spent years building. This is just perfectly positioned by a guy who knows what the company mantra and brand was supposed to be all along and what made it great. And I noticed, like, you know, as we were talking about this story for a couple of months, you started to hear people that are like, oh, American beer's terrible, and I don't drink Miller Lite, I don't drink Bud Light, I don't drink Coors Light. I'm like, this is the same people, not specifically, but the same kind of thought process I hear when people, I don't listen to Nickelback. I was not a fan of Creed. Well, they were selling millions of, so somebody was consuming it.
Yeah, so somebody's drinking Bud Light, right?
It's like, so like, why are you afraid to admit that you drink it?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a light beer. It's American. You can drink 12 of them at a football game and not feel completely bloated. There's a market for it. And it was like, well, I don't drink light beer. Light beer's terrible. Okay. All these people, you're all just all frauds. And there's nothing wrong with Mexican beer, by the way, because I'm a big Mexican beer fan.
Corona?
I love Corona. I love Modelo, Dos Equis, all of it.
Yeah.
Throw a lime wedge in it. But Billy Bush saying that he would buy back the company if InBev, the big conglomerate, decided to put it up for sale.
Do you think that would help? I don't. I think they've just completely.
I think it would be.
Brand.
I think it would be such a big story, and then you start rebranding it, and you start doing ads and commercials that resonate with the actual people that used to buy your product. Because here's the sell to those that have bailed on Bud Light. Hey, I'm Billy Bush. Like, I'm the Bush family. No more Heinerschneid and all these college marketing dweebs. We're going to tell you what it's all about again. And then you start advertising about football and men and middle America, riding a horse, shotgun, like the whole bit. Like, you do the whole thing and you're back.
Riding a horse and shotgun?
Yes.
What is this, the Old West?
Yeah. We're going to do whatever Dylan Mulvaney is. Here's your ad campaign. You do the exact opposite of that.
Okay.
So what's the exact opposite of that?
I just think that people...
Police officers, firefighters, construction workers, landscapers.
I just think that people would look at it as pandering. You know what I mean? Like now you're trying to pander to us.
I just wonder if Billy Bush has the money to actually purchase it back. It's easy to say that, but do you have the capital to do that?
I'm sure. I mean,
I don't know. Does he have Elon Musk money where he can cough up $22 billion?
Well, I mean,
not that it would cost that much.
I don't know what that would cost. These days, it would probably cost $15 to get that brand back.
I'll buy Bud back from you for $30,000, and I'm going to finance it for 4 years.
But I just think the American people would see right through it. I think they've.
But Americans are forgiving, right? Like we'll give you a second chance. We'll give you a chance to redeem yourself.
Not when they think they're being pandered to.
All right.
I also think it's a deal because they're saying that they're down $400 million.
Yeah.
Sales down $400 million.
Right.
So it's a deal.
Yeah,
to buy it.
Buy low, sell high, right? You're never going to get Bud at a better rate now. I think that's the way they play the game, right? Buy low, sell high, the whole bit. I'm not an expert. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. But I do know some numbers, and we got to give Stocker some credit here, both on the Fox News front and the Tucker Carlson front. Let me actually start with Tucker Carlson because it's interesting. His Tucker on Twitter episodes have been pretty interesting, some more interesting than others, some consumed more than others. And he's always going to have this appeal. He's got a huge market. This is not to diminish a guy that's basically at the top of his game, but sometimes things don't necessarily translate, like a book deal. So Tucker Carlson's new biography is out, written by Chadwick Moore.
Yeah.
And apparently it is bombed so bad that it sold just over 3,000 copies, according to Publishers Weekly. And he's coming in at number 15 on the hardcover nonfiction list, but and here's the other thing. He did not make the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
And on Amazon, he's actually at number 57, just behind the graphic novel Persepolis.
Yeah.
The Story of a Childhood.
Yeah.
Which came out 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, and this is a biography. This is a biography that Tucker took part in.
Yes, correct.
Like, it wasn't like an unauthorized thing. It was like he did it.
And he's also trailing number 52, the Audible version of Vivek Ramaswamy's Woke Inc., which Dawn has mentioned on this show multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tucker Carlson's book.
Yeah. Well, there was also an edict. It also shows you the power of Fox News too, because there was also an edict on Fox News because this guy, Chadwick Moore, he used to be on with Jimmy Fallon. He was on. Rich has been on with him too.
Yep.
He was no longer allowed on Fox News after his book came out because they had just gotten rid of Tucker.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even go on the biggest network,
right,
to plug his book.
Plug it.
That probably, and I'm sure CNN and MSNBC weren't saying, yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
So he really didn't have a lot of places to promote this book.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Stalker, you said that Fox would be just A-okay. They were going to be fine. Give it some time. Yep. So Fox News has regained some of their viewers lost after the firing of Tucker Carlson. The top-rated cable news station saw a sharp drop in viewership in the spring when the fill-in hosts who replaced Tucker Carlson at 8 p.m. averaged just about 1.49 million total viewers in the first 4 weeks, which was less than half of the number that typically tuned in for Tucker at 8. But it wasn't just 8 p.m. as the entire primetime lineup was hurting. They did their reboot. In the 4 weeks before Carlson's exit, Fox averaged 2.6 million viewers in primetime. In the 4 weeks after, 1.6 million. But now, since their new launch on July 17th, just a month ago yesterday, they have regained a solid amount as they have replaced, obviously, Jesse Waters and Laura Ingraham, Gutfeld, Hannity, 7, 8, 9, and 10 p.m. respectively. Now, Jesse Waters' primetime is doing particularly well, averaging 2.4 million viewers, which is up 60% over the temporary hosts, but still does trail what Tucker Carlson was averaging, where he was around 3.2 or 3.3 million viewers on a nightly basis. You know, I said that I thought Jesse Waters would be the guy, made the most sense, different show than Tucker Carlson for sure. He's kind of snarky. Some people think he's a little arrogant. I find him to be relatively entertaining. But I think all things considered, 1 month in, to basically be up 1 million viewers over the fill-ins, the Trey Gowdies of the world and things like that, but still trailing a little bit behind Tucker Carlson, I got to imagine that they're relatively happy with that. It seems like I felt like the narrative was, they're just shifting around the chairs on the deck. But sometimes that's the way to go, and yep. I think all in all, it relatively worked out.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, the moving Gutfeld down, right, into an earlier time slot. He had such high numbers, but he was out of that so-called prime time,
yes,
lane. Mm-hmm. So Gutfeld made the difference. The honest to God's truth is, I think Gutfeld makes the difference. That was a brilliant move. They probably already wanted to do that, and we're trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's less Jesse and more the power of Greg Gutfeld, because Gutfeld is his ensemble cast. They are entertaining, but you hear they're quirky and they're different, mm-hmm. and they're really authentic, but there's a lot of new information, and they actually break news.
Yeah.
Because of some of their guests.
Right.
So I make a point to try to scan through that. It's still too late for our bedtimes.
Yes, of course.
But it's a show that's very well done. It's really good.
Hannity's the only one that basically stayed in his old spot. They didn't touch him at 9 o'clock.
I also like Hannity's live audience. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that really works for him,
mm-hmm.
and I think that has made a difference.
Yeah, very interesting. So, we gave you the ratings from earlier in the week where when the Trump news broke, it was MSNBC that was ahead of both Fox and CNN, mm-hmm. which I find interesting because it seems to me now, and this is not a surprise on the CNN front, but when there's negative Trump news, for all the people on the left that want their pound of flesh for Trump, mm-hmm. they go to MSNBC. Yeah. Yet when I think something maybe goes in favor of Trump, not that a lot of things have gone in his favor lately, you go to Fox. Nobody is going to CNN for any of it anymore, and they used to be where you would go.
That's a great point.
For the breaking news, which is weird because MSNBC, I feel like, and I know we play all their clips like from Joy Reid and Maddow on the cut sheet. Those are talking head shows. That's not like a news-focused presentation. Like Brett Baer is, pretty much straight down the middle. He's just giving you the facts without much opinion or commentary. So I don't know why they would necessarily go there unless they want to see Rachel Maddow and Hillary Clinton yucking it up.
Not so much, right?
Yeah, not so much. So interesting.
But what for Trump to go on with Tucker and because Tucker left Fox or was fired or whatever you want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
So what a double shiv.
Right? Now, where do you think, if that is what ends up playing out on Wednesday and it's Trump and Tucker and counter-programming, how do you think we're going to get that? It's not going to be on Newsmax. It's got to be like, what, through some sort of social media?
On X? Or, where would they place
Truth? I mean, I don't know how you're going to consume that live.
they got to do. He's going to do, because he's not going to want to be outshined by the Fox debate. He's going to want to show that he gets better ratings wherever he goes. So it has to be something where the deck is already stacked.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get more ratings on Newsmax or OAN or any of those, third-rate channels. He's gonna get it from like a Twitter or X, whatever, or Facebook or something, where there's a built-in audience, and you just literally have to scroll through to get to it being counted as a view. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I think if he does anything, it'll be something like that.
All right.
Yeah, because what is Tucker's contract? Are they still negotiating? So Tucker can't agree to appear on a Newsmax. Although if I'm with Newsmax, I am totally going after that, and I'm taking it as like a fair usage thing.
Would you pay his buyout if you're Newsmax?
No.
Okay. They probably don't even have the revenue for that, but I'm just throwing stuff out there.
It's too big, and you can get him in snippets for free.
Yep. I agree. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. We'll come back, work our way towards what's on the cut sheet. Barnes & Noble and Walmart in the news, and we'll give you that when we come back. It's Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Back to school time is the perfect time for your child or grandchild to get ahead. If your child needs support, special tutoring, custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company for over 30 years. METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online, metc.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly, info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners get a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
You're out of breath. Have a constant dry cough that won't go away. It could be interstitial lung disease. ILD is rare, but it's serious. It can be the fight of your life. And you can't face the fight of your life if you don't know you're in it. Ask your doctor. Find a pulmonologist. Get answers. There's hope. There's help. But don't wait. Go to lungsandyou.com/fight ILD.
Life can get hectic. Wouldn't you love to retreat from the noise? Take a breath. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house located in Chester County. Surround yourself in God's beauty while you step back, reflect, and recharge. Malvern Retreat House hosts men's and women's retreats, plus couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. For retreat information, go to malvernretreat.com. Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
Phillies start a 3-game series in Washington tonight. Michael Lorenz on the mound. Looks like the Phillies are at -1.5. I would take the Phillies -1.5 on that. The baseball season is heading into the backstretch. Get in on the action with FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000. By the way, with football season coming in, the playoffs are right around the corner. Now is the best time to go to FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Greg. Sign up right now. You get $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, so you know you're in good hands. It's also the official partner of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission, 21 and over, President PA. First online RINO wager, only $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Cut sheet coming up, 7:45 this morning. Also still ahead, Ron DeSantis' debate strategy apparently gets leaked.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Boy, this guy can't catch a break, can he?
Mustard. Who will he go after on Wednesday night? Who will he pander to?
Yeah.
We have the details. That's coming up after the cut sheet this morning. By the way, I got a lot of tweets yesterday saying that Mustard is living rent-free in people's heads these days as the favorite sound drop on Kayal and Company.
It is mine. It's definitely mine.
I mean, so, I think next year for, March Madness, when the brackets come out, maybe we can do one with all of our different sound drops. And I think if we had 64 of them and you have 16 in each of the 4 quadrants, I think Mustard would be one of the 4 1 seeds.
Mustard.
Yes, it's going to be hard to knock off. But also, we have to get to a couple of stories here. I'm going to get to the Barnes & Noble story in just a moment because it's not actually what you think. Although there are people that do the book sniffing, this is actually a real thing. But this individual was sniffing something else at Barnes & Noble.
What?
Actually, let's get to it. We'll save the Walmart for later. Walmart's just about numbers anyway. So, the headline in the New York Post, man caught sniffing women at Barnes & Noble is back on the street despite a lengthy rap sheet of sex offenses.
Oh, boy.
So,
sniffing women.
Yes. I thought that this was a guy that was going through and sniffing books as well. There's no indication that he was actually sniffing hardbacks or paperbacks. But a serial creep from Los Angeles County, this is from the New York Post, is back on the streets after dozens of arrests for a slew of sex offenses and other crimes stretching back to 2005, despite being caught on video accosting women just days ago. Celeste Karen Crowder, 36, was identified as the man seen on viral TikTok videos. So, at least TikTok is now serving somewhat of a purpose outside of mental health breakdowns about purple hair. But the TikTok video, who appears to follow women around a Burbank Barnes & Noble bookstore, sniffing their backsides.
He's like a dog.
There's a lot of ways that you can try to pick up women in this lifetime. It's occasionally you go to a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and or you go to a bar, or you go to a dating site. I don't know that going to Barnes and Nobles and sniffing from the back is, going to work. But you do you. And if the cops come to get you, good, you deserve it. So Glendale police arrested him for allegedly peeping on a Glendale home with, and this is the sick part of it, with children inside last week. According to authorities, Crowder has felony convictions of robbery and burglary, law enforcement sources told Fox News Digital. And despite having been ordered to register as a sex offender, his name did not appear on the state's registry when checked Wednesday morning. Crowder was accused of peeping into a Glendale home with children on August the 6th, and a Barnes & Noble shopper posted her encounter with him to TikTok on August the 8th. He was subsequently arrested on August the 11th, and he walked free yesterday.
Oh, boy.
After a California judge placed him on probation.
Of course.
So,
mentally ill.
He has 40 different chances at life.
Yeah,
and he's back out, and he'll be at a Barnes & Noble near you and following you down the science fiction aisle.
Ew.
Yeah. What are we doing here? I know it's just we see this and it's it's kind of funny, but it's really creepy. And then you know what's going to happen is, God forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But this guy is going to go beyond just sniffing somebody, and we're going to end up having a sexual assault, a rape, God forbid, a murder, because we don't lock these people up and get them, whether behind bars and punish them, or get them in a treatment facility so that they can have their mental issues treated? Like walking around sniffing women's backside at a Barnes & Noble.
Daniel, what's the audio we have here?
Oh, that's right. We do have tape of this. I think it's the TikTok, correct?
Yeah, it's the TikTok the girl posted.
All right. Let's, you want to go to the footage?
Yeah, let's go to the tape.
All right.
Hang on, Daniel.
TikTok, for those on YouTube, if
Hang
you
on,
want to
Daniel.
see
Start it over. Hang on.
specifically what is going on here.
Here we go.
So I get to Barnes & Noble and get my Starbucks. I'm super excited to look at books, but this is the area that it started. I was in this corner for a while and I noticed a guy was staring at me through that little hole, and I couldn't tell if I was being paranoid or if he was just reading a book and he just happened to be in that little corner. Anyways, it felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following me. So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual And the whole time I'm thinking I'm fine because he hasn't said anything or touched
like he's
me or anything.
proposing
But
to
then
her.
you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know. And the whole time I'm wondering why he's always around me. But this was our interaction.
Wow. You can youtube.com/@1210WPHT to see the video. He gets down there and he really he really takes a whiff.
Takes a whiff, yeah. So
nasty.
This female, I'm assuming, has her phone propped up on the bookshelf.
Mike Carr has my thoughts exactly.
Okay.
Staged.
And staged.
How was it so well produced? And why wasn't she like freaking out? Like who was recording her?
My guess is she had the phone up on the bookshelf, flips the camera around to record it. This guy has been following her. She's starting to pick up on it. And you can see, for those that aren't watching, the guy's behind her looking at a different shelf, and he squats down like he's looking at the bottom shelf, and then he pivots like while he's squatted down and sticks his head behind her, you know what, and takes a whiff, and then gets up and goes. There's another female in the other area, and you can see the female recording it is like looking into the camera and kind of saying, yeah, this is really odd.
This is why I hate TikTok, because you can never believe anything that's on it.
But this guy has a track record.
Yeah, Burbank police have they have his mugshot. He has reportedly a long list of arrests over the years.
Yeah, since 2005. This guy's got
According to
20 years of being a sicko.
Daniel Valdez has more info. What's the more info, buddy?
So this whole, I only took like a 43-second of it. The whole thing's like 2 minutes long. But the whole TikTok is about like a solo date self-care thing that turned into this dude sniffing her.
Solo date self-care. What does that mean?
It's like things you can do by yourself to like, I don't know, solo self-care yourself.
So she's trying to do a video to say, oh, go to Barnes & Noble, you know, some like these influencers will do. So she's trying to shoot a video saying, go read a book.
And it just so happens that this guy
apparently she captures this guy, but Burbank police are confirming that he was arrested and that they're releasing his mugshot and so on and so forth. So
I don't know anything about the Burbank Police Department, but is that another police department that just doesn't actually keep people locked up?
I mean, it's California, so I'm sure.
Yeah. So
it is repeat offenders seen in this viral TikTok video sniffing women's butts in a Barnes & Noble arrested.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It's horrendous, but it's the man's a dog, literally.
The comedic value of this is our justice system, that we don't keep these people where they need to be.
Yeah, and he reportedly has previous sex crime arrests, according to different police units in California.
Yeah. This guy's a pedophile. He's a pervert. Lock him up. What are we doing here?
Navy prepper said it doesn't pass the smell test.
Oh my God.
So I guess there was already a warrant out for his arrest in a prowling incident at a family home in the suburbs of Glendale.
Yep.
And so he has this long criminal rap sheet, according to Glendale Police Department, Burbank Police Department. I mean, all these different police departments are listing all this information about him, saying this guy has a long rap sheet and criminal history and most disturbing sex offenses.
After Crowder's rapid release, a victim named Michaela Witter posted a TikTok video warning neighbors to, quote, please be careful. She says, is this real? I think maybe he spent 3 days in jail. They can't do anything more until he's done something really bad to someone. Yeah. And I'm honestly scared that person is going to be me.
And you know what happens if you're the woman here, the young woman, and you turn around and just drop kick them, just kick them,
right,
in the face.
Then you'll be charged with assault.
Yeah, you probably or have your mace or your pepper spray, whatever, and spray them.
Yeah.
Well, that's she obviously knew that he was behind her because she was filming it.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't she do something?
I know. Guy's got sneakers and real high tube socks on. Looks like he just came from playing a basketball game.
Is that sexist of me to say?
No, I mean, my brother John is texting me. It's too bad she couldn't just rip one right in his face.
but you know what, dude? Like this freak, this freak probably likes that.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
sick part.
If he likes that.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is, and we're playing it again, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. The problem is that it's so well put together. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, maybe she's just incredibly composed. I mean, the guy's. It looks like if she was facing him, it looked like he was proposing to marry her.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, because it does seem like it's, maybe this is a hoax or a fake, but I'm looking at all these different police reports. Police are investigating this, and they say he's a repeat felon suspected of prowling and stalking.
And again, he's a repeat felon. So my question is, why is he out then?
Yeah.
He's a career criminal. We talked about what the female should do there. What do you do if you're the guy, not him, but let's just say you're walking by as a random dude that's not into sniffing, and you see the dude sniffing her?
You beat the S out of him.
But then you are like the Marine.
Yeah, I know.
I know. In New York.
Well, I'm looking at the table there where it looks like they have board games there, or like whatever that is. I grab one of the board games and just whack him across the back like it's a steel chair.
Yeah, I'm definitely the guy who's saying, "Bro, what are you doing?"
Yeah, just startle him.
You creep.
He'll probably fall and run out, and
And you're actually, what you're saying, Greg, is exactly what they tell you to do no matter what. Be loud.
Yeah.
If she had turned around and screamed and said, "What are you doing? Get away, get away from me, get away." That's what they tell you to do.
Right.
Bill on the YouTube chat wants to know if she's pressing charges.
Don't know. I would.
She did go up to the counter and tell the counter that some dude was following her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She later on. I cut it right before she went up to the counter, but yeah, she does.
The only problem I have with her is that she bought a coffee at Barnes & Noble from Starbucks.
Here we go.
Like $8 there. Like, just go get it at the real Starbucks. It'll at least be $1 or $2 cheaper, and then you go in and read your book. By the way, have you ever gone into Barnes & Noble and bought a coffee and just sat there and read something all day?
No.
I go in there once a year for my fantasy football magazine. There's people in there just like, their laptop out.
Are there Barnes & Nobles anymore?
Yeah.
Are there?
One right over off of Chemical Road in Plymouth Meeting.
Yeah. I love Barnes & Noble. Are you surprised? They have, because sometimes when you can't order your kids' books, their summer reading or whatever, and you're in a panic, usually you can call them. They're great.
Yeah.
And you can even pre-buy it, go pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have like good brownies and coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm surprised they're actually still in business with Amazon these days.
Well, I mean, there used to be one in Willow Grove, and I think they demolished it, and they're putting something else there.
They?
Yeah.
That one? So there is the one, Kayal, in not too far in Conchie, Plymouth Meeting.
Yeah,
that one.
That's the one I've gone to.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, nice little area over there.
The one in Montgomeryville is still popping.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always busy.
Still popping. Still popping, yo.
What do they sell? It's just books there, because they used to sell like CDs and DVDs, but like.
Well, if you recall, before Barnes and Noble became kind of like the hard top number one, like hard building bookstore, it was Walden Books. Do you remember Walden Books?
Mm-hmm.
That used to be where you could actually get what you're talking about, DVDs and CDs.
Yep.
I think they were merged with.
They were the smaller ones that used to be in malls.
Correct.
But Barnes and Noble and
freestanding.
What was the other one? Barnes and Noble and
Borders.
Thank you, Daniel. Those were the big standalone places that you could go, and they had
good book knowledge.
They had like toys and everything in there. Like it was
to your point about toys.
Yeah.
For your little son,
yeah.
They still, in most of the one Nick goes to, Nick can testify to this, at the Barnes & Noble, they have that whole Thomas the Train and toy section. And when you can't find the toys elsewhere, they do have a great selection of Legos. So they have a huge toy section.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of, since we're just kind of
filibustering,
shooting the S right now,
yeah.
my wife texted me this morning, like, my my grill blew over last night. Like all kinds of plants. Like what? Did like a tornado blow through this area or something?
Let's get the NBC 10 first.
I know.
What happened?
I did tell you yesterday that there could be some storms overnight.
Yeah. It was wet out when I went outside this morning.
No, it was raining when I left this morning.
Okay.
But it was just like a little mist or something. It wasn't a huge rain, and there wasn't a lot of wind.
Is your grill ruined?
No,
Okay.
the grill needs to be thrown out anyway. It's like
It's a stocker grease fire.
It's like 15 years old. It really needs to go.
Yeah,
I know my starter and mine. But
Oh, it's the worst.
You just put it on, then you throw a match on
Yeah,
it. Shouldn't do that, but
My wife is just like, but it makes such good food that I don't want to, like, I've spent years getting all that grease and disgustingness in the grill.
Yeah.
That it takes time. I don't want to a new grill to have to.
Agreed.
Get all that meat and whatever else.
It's
that's
an
been
episode of Married with Children.
Caked on over the years. Yeah,
That's why Al doesn't clean the grill.
I know.
But I know we have to get to the cut sheet here as we're just shooting the breeze. But I feel like I should take this call, at least based on the description. We have Beth in Winmore, who has an arrest take and identifies as a dog.
What is happening to the phone here? Guys?
Is it not working?
Guys, what's happening to the phone here? Do we know?
Hello.
We can't take
are we like Susie Cool?
no.
We've been hacked?
No, boy.
No, this is this is the second one that
we might have some
that's
technical
weird.
issues.
Anthony's running in here.
It's on. Hello.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I tried it up there. It doesn't work. See?
See, it's all discombobulated.
Is there something else that you can pull it up on there, Dan?
Let's see if we can pull it up. Whip this thing out.
Oh, and here's another headline. Canadian officials are bracing for a massive spread of wildfires in Canada.
Oh.
Within the next 48 hours.
Is that going to work our way down to our area?
I'm sure.
Oh, very interesting.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, just as long as I get my golf in first. All right. So we'll skip Beth because our phone screen.
Or we'll get to her once the boys in the back figure out what's happening.
Hang in there, Beth.
All right.
Just enjoy the show on your phone right now.
Thank you.
In the meantime, let's get to what's on the cut sheet.
What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet on this Friday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where they have ample inventory of brand new and beautiful pre-owned Volvos. Enjoy the luxury experience you deserve. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Tell them you heard about them on 1210 WPHT. I say this all the time. Let me say it again. The sponsors are the most important part of what we do here. Please show them your support, please. We could not do what we do without these sponsors. So thank you, Cherry Hill Volvo, for being a loyal sponsor to this show and this radio station over the years. Okay, Kristi Noem. I know you guys have crushes on her.
Yes, North Dakota.
I like how Dawn spoke up first.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Love her.
Nice.
Nice. I don't know if I have her ahead of Nancy Mace, but she's on my short list.
She was on with Hannity last night, and he asked her the VP question because everybody thinks that she would make a great VP.
Okay.
This is what she said. This is cut 13, Daniel.
If you were asked to be vice president with somebody, maybe Donald Trump, would you do it?
Well, number one, what you've always asked me is if I'm running for president. So this is a different question, and I will tell you that, of course, I would consider it. I think everybody should consider it. Our country is breaking right in front of our very eyes today, and everybody should be a part of putting it back on its foundation. And if President Trump is going to be back in the White House, I do all I can to help him be successful.
Very interesting take. I would absolutely put her on my short list. My short list has been Tim Scott in the lead for a while right now. I will say this. I think right now I have to make an amendment. I have to jumble my order. I would have Vivek Ramaswamy as my VP.
Oh, really?
With all due respect to Kristi Noem, I know we talking about her right here, and obviously there are females that are in the running. Of course you have Nikki Haley. The one person I would not consider, and I was high on her in the fall because I liked her charisma, but I'm at the point now, and this is actually going to contradict what I just said about Vivek. Because he's never held office. I don't know that I would select somebody that's never been in office. So that probably
like Trump.
Well, see, that's the tough one.
By the way, I'm Kristi Noem, obviously South Dakota. Doug Burgum, who will be on the stage next week, North Dakota.
Yes. Why, did somebody correct you or something?
No, I'm correcting
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
Yeah, look. I think Vivek does absolutely nothing for Trump having him as VP. He needs either a female or, I hate to say this, and I'm going to say African American, but like we put everybody in boxes anyway. So like that's what
the left's all about.
But so I hate to say it because everybody, like, they're all people, but I think having Vivek on the ticket for him does nothing.
Well, all right. So let's stay in the female lane for a moment. We've got Christie, we've got Carrie, we've got Nikki.
Yeah.
You taking Nikki Haley or Christy Noem? If those were your two choices right now, you're Donald Trump, and it's down to those two. I would take Nikki Haley.
Tim Scott.
Yeah, I'm with Dawn.
And I love both of those women. I really, and both of them have, well, Christy was here, and so we met her at that Montgomery County event, and she's great backstory, living on a farm. Dad dies suddenly of a heart attack in his, mid-60s. It's just a healthy guy, drops dead, and they realize through inheritance tax they're going to lose everything. And that is what propelled her, helping to run at, a young age, to run a family farm, and then decided to run for office because of how horrible that was. Great backstory for Christie, for Governor Christie Noem. And then, of course, for South Carolina's former governor, who I love too, Nikki Haley. I love both of those women, but I think the power move would be Tim Scott.
Yeah, I've liked Tim Scott's message. I mean, it's real simple. Take out a loan, pay it back. Commit a crime, go to jail. We played that message for you when he launched back in February. I mean, he really keeps it simple, which I like.
But I think the African-American vote is in play.
Oh, it is.
And to have Trump with Tim Scott, whose message...
Come on.
Well,
he got
Biden's
more...
lost.
Oh, my God,
Biden has lost the African-American community.
Come on.
Trump had...
He had like 4% of the African Americans. It's not in play.
No.
Come on.
No, Biden has gone from 73% support in the African-American community to 51%.
Donald Trump is not going to get the African-American majority. He's just not.
Oh, no. Majority, no.
No, not a majority. All they need is a sliver to switch over. And if you've got somebody, he's got to go. They've got to go. We're looking at a tiny percentage, Greg. They've got to go for that sliver, right? That sliver of
well, we gave you the
voters.
We gave you the breakdown last week. The Democratic Party has lost 20% of the African American vote. They're losing the Latino vote. They're losing the middle class.
You guys are fooling yourself if you think that the African American vote is in play. That's why. So, like, I'm going to contradict myself because I think the woman vote is actually a better shot for them.
I disagree. I think
not the young women.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to give the caveat of young single women.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
But some of the latest polls showing independent voters, and that's the big one for Trump. There's these latest polls that say independent voters are leaving Trump. That's concerning. So he's got to look. I'm sure they're looking at all of this and the polls, as we've said, daily snapshot, but important. Help with fundraising.
Yep.
So if you're going to do a power ranking, top 5, Dawn Stensland, Nick Kayal, rank your top. Where would Chrissy Noem be?
Top 5 candidates for VP or female?
No, candidates for VP.
I would go right now. Vivek 1.
Yeah.
Tim Scott 2.
Yep.
Nikki Haley 3.
Nope.
Noem 4. I guess I'd throw Carrie Lake in there. Running out of options.
Nah.
Dawn?
He's never gonna. I mean, I start with Tim Scott, number 1, 2, and 3, and then I go to Nikki Haley. I don't think Christy Noem is a big enough name, and I don't know that.
That's a good point.
What is Nikki? What vote is Nikki Haley getting Trump? Seriously,
she is fantastic, and I think I think that she would, if anybody could, go to the women's vote. I think she's a great voice, and the fact that she, was a very successful governor, and with her experience, but she's also somebody who is in she's a woman of ethnicity,
right?
So I think she does play well to women. So I think but I think Tim Scott number 1.
Yeah,
I do.
Bubba45 on the YouTube chat says, I think Tim Scott is exactly Mike Pence. He will turn on Trump in a second.
I mean, there is that evangelical Christian vibe from Tim Scott. I don't know if he'll turn on him.
I don't know.
But they're all using each other. Like this whole turning on thing, like
it's politics. Of course.
Like, you don't think Kristi Noem is using that to advance her career?
There are no friends in politics. I
Right.
hate to tell everybody.
Right.
They would all stab each other in the back.
The important question is: Would you rather?
I mean, Trump hired a bunch of people and fired them.
Right. Would you
know what I
rather
mean?
hire Kristi Noem or Chris Christie? Battle of the Christies.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Oh, well, that's hands down. That's Kristi Noem.
I just wanted to play the drop.
Chris Christie is the Bud Light of candidates.
Oh man, and Billy Bush ain't buying him back.
By the way, streaming live on YouTube, we're 3 likes away from 100, so please hit the like button. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please also hit the subscribe button. I want to get to. We're kind of stagnant at 4.2 and change. I'd like to get to 4,300.
I think
So
we
if you have
really
not done
start
so-
to ratchet it up post Labor Day.
Do you think so?
Yeah, the fall push. That
The
Tuesday,
fall push.
September 6th.
No.
Back to school, back to subscribers.
Okay.
There we go.
But hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Like 35% of people that are watching are not subscribed. It's like,
It's
what
amazing.
are you doing?
It's like this. It's like the 33% that are on board with Bidenomics. Yeah. How's that possible?
Well, and subscribing's free.
Thank you, Dawn.
It's free and easy.
Yes.
Thank you, Dawn. Yeah. I got a compliment from somebody at one of our sister stations.
No!
They
That's
said,
nice.
whose idea was it to put the show on YouTube? And I said, it was mine. He goes, brilliant. I'm like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is a person who's not, he's not exactly a fan of conservatives.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
you know.
Okay.
Just saying.
At least he can appreciate quality when he sees it.
Joe Biden was asked if he can comment on his Hawaii trip. This is cut one, Daniel. This is what he said.
Can you tell us about your Hawaii trip, sir?
No, not now. I'm going to be leaving. I'll be there on Monday.
Why is it important that you go?
Thank you.
Sir, on the family issue. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, not right now. I've done my 28 hours of work for the week. I'm getting on my flight to head back to Delaware for the weekend, and I've got some stuff that we'll address on Monday. Amazing. Could you imagine, and I can't recall specifically how many times Trump would be walking out in that spot and he'd be hit with a question and either say no or completely ignore it. But this guy there's almost like a belief of, no, I don't need to tell the American public what's going on. And whatever little dribs and drabs my little minions give you when they go to the podium, that's what you will get, and you will like it.
This Maui resident, speaking of Hawaii, this Maui resident was on with The Source with Caitlin Collins last night.
Is that what they call the show?
The Source with Caitlin Collins.
I didn't know there was a name attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said that the $700 check is a slap in the face.
No, it is.
Cut 14, Daniel.
We've been getting a lot of help from the community, and the community has been a big part of my family's survival. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are right now in regards to sanity, as well as our survival mode.
You mentioned the community, but are you getting enough help from the government tonight?
My parents received a check for $700, which was a slap in the face. This $700 was given by the government, and I feel like it's not enough. Living in Hawaii, you spend groceries, you know, everything is so expensive. Groceries can be as much as $700 just for one grocery run, and it's not enough. And right now, the Maui community is helping the Maui community, and it's really affected me because where's the president? He decides to come here this week, to come here next week. I mean, like, where aren't we Americans too? Like, we're part of the United States, but why are we getting put in the back pocket? Why are we being ignored? And I feel like these families need aid right away, and they're being turned away because their applications hasn't been approved or pending. And the only way they'll be able to get aid or help is if they sign up through FEMA, where a lot of these families have elderly who are computer literate, where they don't know how to do it or they don't know what to do.
What do you think
right
it's
now,
important for
the
the
only
president?
help we're getting is
Ella, what do you think
the
it's
only help
important
we're
for the
getting-
president to see when he comes next week on Monday?
Tell him to come to War Memorial and see the people there laying out in cots and see how he feels, especially injured people that's laying out in cots right at War Memorial Stadium. I'm so
Ella.
sorry. I didn't know that it was going to go this way. I was happy to talk about my family, but everything that has been in my heart, I needed to say out loud because I've been struggling mentally when it comes to providing help. And I want to be able to be there for every single person that I meet. I want to be there for every single person that I see.
Well, Ella, this won't make you feel any better, but for what it's worth, under America Last with Joe Biden, it doesn't matter if you're a blue area like Hawaii and Maui or a red area like East Palestine, Ohio. He's not going to give a rip about either spot, but he'll cut checks for Ukraine until his fingers bleed. $700, which, by the way, too, for groceries, when you heard her say one grocery run, you think maybe she's embellishing. But groceries in Hawaii and everything in Hawaii, the cost is just astronomical.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it costs to live in Hawaii.
You think California's expensive. Go a couple further hours across the Pacific and get there. And think about that. 700. I'm still blown away by that. We just gave $200 million more to Ukraine. Yet you did the math of 700 per household. It's less than $2 million that we are going to give to people that were just devastated by that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, people will vote for this guy.
$75 billion in assistance to Ukraine overall.
Yeah, $75 billion.
Right?
Yep. And Maui, blue area, they voted for Joe, and yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, I'll get to you on Monday. Hang in there. East Palestine's actually been in line longer, so just, you know.
What's their excuse that they won't go is because they don't want to be in the way?
Yeah, Joe said he didn't want to get in the way.
Gotcha.
Like my grandmother at Thanksgiving. I don't want to get in the way when your dad's cutting a turkey. I'll just wait.
It does sound like something you're. Well, we don't want to be in the way. I don't know.
My daddy's got the sharp carving knife out. You'll get your gravy and biscuit.
By the way, let me update that number since the war and currently, so far through 113 billion in aid.
Wow.
113 billion.
11 bajillion million cajillion dollars.
Right. Not a joke. Those are real numbers, folks.
It's unbelievable.
Yes. Because helping Maui is not profitable. That's why. Why don't they give money? Because helping East Palestine is not profitable. Yeah. War is profitable.
Amen. Trump did a recorded message yesterday, and he said that the party should come together and that people should drop out of the race. Cut 6, Daniel.
Great polls just out. Leading by 40, 50, and even 60 points. Who expected that? I did. Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, all very strong, but also leading Biden very big. DeSantis is crashing. Perhaps the party should come together. People should drop out of the race. We unify, and we beat Biden and the Democrats. They should be easy to beat because our country has never been in worse condition than it is right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who saw that coming? I did. I love that. I need that on my board.
I mean, like, really drop out? I mean, like, this isn't... Like,
look, he's trying to be a uniter. Hey, everybody said he was a divider. Now he's trying to be a uniter, and he can't catch a break.
It's the primary process, though. Like, we're not anointing a king.
Right.
Let this play out. Let it play out.
And it's both sides, too, really. You don't want to challenge Joe. You can't primary Joe. RFK's not taken seriously. Gavin's probably been told behind closed doors, lay low. Trump doesn't feel like he should have to debate, which, statistically, strategically, there's at least some validity to that. At least he could argue that my polls are great. Like, Joe Biden's got the approval of basically nobody. But it was a pretty good clip. And by the way, nobody's going to drop out. Because my theory has been nobody's going to drop out because of all this legal stuff pending. You just don't know the way this whole thing will play out. So you might, if you've already officially declared, you might as well just stay in the race to see the way this whole train wreck plays out in real time. And by the way, speaking of staying in the race, I saw a Suarez ad yesterday on TV. I forgot he was Suarez from Miami, the mayor of Miami.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was in the race.
Yeah.
He's not.
There's like 13 or 14 people, but only 6 or 7 are ever discussed.
Is he like he didn't qualify for the Fox News thing,
No,
right? So it's going to be.
But it's funny. His ad was on Fox News.
So it's going to be DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Tim Scott. Who else?
Mike Pence.
And
Vivek.
Okay.
And Trump surrogates. I'm sending Byron. I'm sending Gates, and I'll send somebody else. I'll get in their headset and whistle. All right, here we're going to run this play here. Run this play.
How much do you think they discussed Trump in this?
I think it might be the leading question right out of the gate. If it's CNN, it would be the first question.
But does Fox go down that route?
They want ratings, right? What's the second best thing to having Trump there live? Talking about him. I mean, at least I would think.
Trump also did an interview yesterday with Kudlow. What's his name? Larry?
Yeah.
Lawrence Kudlow.
Well, on Fox Business.
Yeah. He said that Biden doesn't understand what MAGA means.
Yep.
Cut 5. We had this discussion
yes.
earlier this week. Is there a MAGA movement without Trump?
That clip got a lot of play on social media.
It did, even though some people said it was a bad take by us.
Oh, was it?
For,
good.
Getting it.
By the way, I'm not in the business of having you agree with everything that comes out of our mouths.
Some people are. Will that make you happy, Fred? Will it? Cut 5, Daniel.
Well, first of all, it's amazing because you watch him, you don't even think he's going to get through the sentence. You know, the stopping and the halting, and there's something going on over there. But this guy is advising us. He's the one negotiating with other countries, and, you know, we're going to end up in a world war. So beyond taxes I'm talking about, we have a man that's grossly incompetent. We're going to end up in a world war the way. You're going to end up in World War III, which is going to be a nuclear war. He doesn't understand what MAGA means. If you asked him right now to define MAGA or to say what MAGA is, he would not be able to say, make America great again. He's always saying MAGA, those MAGA people. But if you would say, what does MAGA stand for? He wouldn't know. He wouldn't be able to tell you that. But you know, it's called Make America Great Again. And right now, again, is probably, you have to use it because we don't have a great country. We have a country that's a laughingstock all over the world. We have a president who can't properly represent us. He goes to meetings in foreign countries and he makes a fool out of himself. He's a fool. And I can just imagine President Xi, all of these leaders that I've gotten to know so well, Macron, they're laughing at this whole situation. Nobody can believe it. And this is what we have, and we're stuck with it.
You know, you look at Trump and you hear him speak, and he exudes strength and confidence. You listen to Joe speak, and you watch Joe, and it shows weakness and fragility. I think it's the best way I could describe the two differences in these two. Not even breaking down, you know, the economy and the border and all those great numbers of Bidenomics that I gave you this morning in the Big Take.
They also discussed shower restrictions. You know, we talked about this, about how they're making everything energy, climate friendly.
It's going to impact my life. I take 2 a day.
And it, just the worst. 2 showers a day.
Yeah.
You don't even have any hair. What are you doing?
I don't know. My soap bill is way too high. You're right. I got to cut back.
And he said this about the, the new appliances and everything that's coming out that they're making more eco-friendly. Cut 7, Daniel.
These people are crazy. And when you look at what they want to do with cars now, and now they so we took off the restrictors. And, there are certain parts of the country you can do that where you're in the desert. But for the most part, people don't want to have this. They want to wash their hands. You know what you do? You wash your hands 4 times longer. You take a shower. Like, you have beautiful hair like this. Beautiful. And Larry, I want to get out of there. I want to take a shower and wash my hair. And you have these things where the water just drips out. It could hardly come out. It's brutal. So we took it all off, and you know what they did? They just put it all back.
Yeah. He puts on such a show. His hair, it's beautiful. Yeah, honest to God, and it's obviously his genetics, and I don't think there's any proof that any of that is fake. But like at 77 to still have that, and it's it's thin and it's quapped back and the whole bit. I'm just wondering what he would look like if he just said one day, the hell with it. I'm just going to get rid of it. I know he wouldn't, but I know we've got a lot of Photoshop artists out there. I'd like to see what Trump would look like with my head of hair. and what I would look like with Trump's hair.
Oh, boy. Here
Can
we
we
go.
get like it? Because that'll be a YouTube sensation.
Oh, this would be funny.
Valdez can put that up and plaster it all over the screen. Somebody create a picture with me with Trump's hair. I might make that my profile picture on Twitter until Stalker yells at me. Would you please take that down, Nick?
He continues about Joe Biden. Cut 4, Daniel.
He spends his time attacking fossil fuels, A, and B, business in general. I don't think I've ever heard a president in either party attack business so much or attack oil and gas companies and coal companies that employ tens of millions of Americans. I don't understand that, sir.
Larry, you watch him, he can't put two sentences together. He doesn't know where he is. He can't walk up a flight of stairs, let alone down a flight of stairs. And you look at this guy, we have the most corrupt president in the history of our country, and we have the most incompetent, simultaneously the most incompetent president. And what he's doing to this country, millions and millions of people are pouring into our country. Look at New York City, look at Chicago, look at these cities, what's happening to them, with hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens coming into and sleeping on Madison Avenue and sleeping in Central Park. And nobody's ever seen anything like this. And by the way, they're coming out of prisons, they're coming out of mental institutions, and they're terrorists, a lot of them. And this is going to be a problem for this country for a long time. And we have to close up that border. We have to seal it up, except for people that want to come in legally. Like we had the safest border in the history of our country. Now we have, I think, the worst border in the history of the world. I mean, there's no country that would have allowed this to happen. And it's almost as though they want it to happen. It's almost as though, because the concept of open borders, especially when you don't even check the people just walk into the country. So we don't even know where they come. They come from countries that nobody ever even heard of. And last month they had 142 countries that people came in from these countries. Many of them nobody ever heard of. What's going on with Joe Biden it's insane. But when you watch him, he can't speak, he can't walk, he can't do anything. And he's telling us about energy, and he's telling us about Russia and nuclear weapons. This guy is going to get us into a nuclear war. He's going to really do it. He's going to get us right into a nuclear war.
That's why I script the big take, folks, so I don't kind of go off on tangents. But that was great, and there's a lot of truth to it. And I want to point out to Defiant L's on Twitter that is great at always catching and snapshotting the hypocrisy of those on the left. Speaking of the border, we'll stay on subject here with that. So Karine Jean-Pierre on February 15th, 2019, so just over 4.5 years ago, tweeted at Donald Trump saying, "Where are the pesos for your bigoted wall?" And then RNC Research pulls up a quote from Karine Jean-Pierre from July 29th. Karine Jean-Pierre says Biden is filling in major gaps in the border wall, i.e. building the wall, because he is, quote, trying to save lives. So it was a bigoted, racist wall in 2019 because Trump was building it to keep Mexico safe and keep all the cartels out from the United States and illegal people coming in. And now Joe Biden's filling in those gaps, and he's protecting the lives of Americans. It's a selective racist wall. It just depends on who's in office.
One more with Trump and Larry Kudlow on Fox Business. He talks about the Georgia indictment. I think this is the first time he spoke about it in an interview.
Okay.
At least.
Yes.
Cut 3, Daniel.
I just want to begin. We're here to talk about the economy, what's gone wrong, and how you can fix it. But I do, you should have a chance to talk about this crazy Georgia indictment. I know you gave an interview with Fox Digital. It was a good interview. You said you saw darkness, but you also seemed to see some optimism and a potential outcome. And I thought we'd just see what you had to say about that.
Sure. It's a witch hunt. It's just a continuation of a witch hunt. They want to silence you. They want to silence you. And they mean silence. They are, I think they're sick people. I think they are people that have no idea how the world works, and they have no idea the anger they cause. We have a tremendous group of people in this country, and I'm not just talking about Republicans. We have them on both sides, and we have a lot of them. And when they watch this witch hunt, this disgusting situation, where they do it for publicity, where they do fundraisers based on, she, in her case, and they're all bad, but in her case, because I have 4 of them now, if you look. I mean, this is not even possible. 4 over the last couple of months. And frankly, it discredits everything. And they're all very similar in the sense that there's no basis for them. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I'm allowed to do, which, by the way, this guy has probably 20 times more boxes than anybody's ever had. And he's done it wrong. But, it's just, it's a very sad thing when you look at it. And then you look at the suppression. They want to suppress your voice. They don't want you to ever talk about an election. If you talk about an election, they want to put you in jail. And then you say, well, what about Hillary Clinton? She's been talking about. What about Stacey Abrams in Georgia? She's still saying she won the governor's election. What about all these other people that have been talking about elections, including a lot of the congressmen that talk big, and then you look back 4 years or 2 years even, and they're talking about every election that you've ever seen. They try and persuade people that it didn't happen. No, it's a disgraceful thing. And Republicans can't let them get away with it. The Republicans have to be tough. The Republicans are great in many ways, but they don't fight as hard for this stuff, and they have to get a lot tougher. And if they don't, they're not going to have much of a Republican Party. But we have that one under control. It's just suppression, and it's a horrible thing for the country, and it's hurting the country very badly, as you understand probably better than most.
Just ask him a question and watch him go.
Yes. It's the complete opposite of Joe Biden. Ask Joe Biden a question, and he can't get out of the gates. Trump can't land the plane, so to speak, and Biden can't get out of the chute. If there's somebody that can be in between and wrap it up in 60 seconds, that would probably be the ideal soundbite. I'm getting pictures now of what Trump would look like bald.
Oh boy,
yeah. Trump, he kind of looks like Lex Luthor from the Superman movie.
Yeah.
Mike
Carr just tweeted that to us.
That's correct.
Yeah.
He said, I need a picture of me with Trump's hair. He says, I'm not that talented. I found this on Google.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams complains illegal immigrants have been unjustly dropped into the lap of New York City residents. There's this weird, I know it's not Philadelphia, so we may not pay that much attention to it, but there's this weird thing going on in New York between the mayor of New York and the governor, Kathy Hochul, in regards to illegal immigrants.
Yep.
It's interesting to see. He held a press conference yesterday and said this.
This is a national, a statewide issue that has been unjustly dropped into the lap of New York City residents. We only make up 0.05 of the land mass in New York State. 0.05. That's what we make up. Yet we are housing over 99% of the migrants.
Well, you're a sanctuary city, right?
That's a great point.
You can't say our doors are open and our walls are down and you drop on in and spend some time we'll take you in and then cry that you're all full. Oh, well, you said you were the hotel with all the vacancy. Now you got no vacancies, which is interesting. He is correct there, where it's 0.5% of the actual square footage, because everything in New York is built upward because you can't go out, and yet 99.5% of the state of New York doesn't get to see these sanctuary type settings. But this is par for the course, right? This is what the left does. This is what the Democrats do. Oh, we got you. We'll take. Oh, wait, now it's on my front porch and doorstep. Sorry, can't help you. Okay, shouldn't open up your mouth then.
A video of American teens guessing how much the national average wage is has gone viral due to their tone-deaf answers.
Oh, my God.
Popular TikTok creator Jessica Palmadessa posted a video of her asking teenagers in Beverly Hills how much they think the average American makes a year. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, by the way, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, we're like 50, we're less than 50 likes away from 200. So please hit the like button if you're watching right now.
Before you play this, I just want to ask you, do you have the actual answer as to what the average salary is per year in America?
I don't. Maybe Dawn, maybe if you could look that up.
We should do like a Price is Right guessing game here.
I don't.
Once we play the clip.
I don't.
Nobody look. Nobody cheat.
What they're guessing, is not. It's not reality.
Okay.
All right. So you can see this video too if you're watching right now on YouTube. This is cut 8, Daniel.
How much do you think the average American makes a year?
Maybe like 400K, 450.
How much do you think the average American makes a year?
I don't know. Maybe like $500,000.
How much do you think that the average American makes a year?
90 to 100K.
How much do you think the average American makes a year? 200,000, 250,000.
Wow.
I'm going to guess.
Wait, hang on. So before you guess.
Okay.
So we went from 400,000 to $500,000
Yep.
to $200,000 to $90,000 to $100,000.
Okay. My guess would be 48,000 is the average American salary.
I'm
median income.
I'm gonna go lower. I would think it's like 37,000.
37,000. Dawn, do you care to throw in a wager here?
Post pandemic, I'm gonna say 55,000.
Okay.
55.
Does anybody have the answer? Maybe one of our producers in the back can get us the answer, or Twitter will let us know, or YouTube. So you got 37 for Greg. So Greg's on the low end. I've got 48, and Dawn went 55.
I went 55. I
Okay.
can
Wow.
find the state numbers. Like Pennsylvania, the average is 51,000.
59,428. So Dawn would
Dawn's
be
the
correct.
winner. Sucker, you were way off, man.
Way off, yeah.
You're going back to 2005. Bidenomics in play, baby.
What is the average income in the U.S. as of 2023? The average salary in the U.S. Varies largely across industries, job positions, age groups, levels of experience, blah, 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 blah. However, the average salary nationwide in the U.S., according to Forbes, is $59,428.
So take all of that for everybody that went to school for communications, that got a degree and is in debt, and they get a radio job, and it's $28,000 a year. You're poverty.
To be fair, though, doing that in Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's like minimum wage.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're in a completely different. You have to make
Yeah.
at least $1 million, I would think,
Anything in California.
to live in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. L.A.,
So-
California, San Francisco, you name it.
So it's not shocking that these people are not right.
My old boss that's now out in the Bay Area doing sports for Odyssey, I'm not going to sit there and give it what he spent, but he told me what he paid for a 1,900 square foot home in like the suburbs of San Francisco, 20, 30 minutes outside of the city. I almost thought he was lying to me. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe what people are paying for. I mean, think about 1,900 square feet. If that's just you and your girlfriend, like that's a decent size. But with kids, 1,900 square feet, you feel like you're in a cage.
Let's stick with TikTok for a second here. A California TikToker had the internet ready to take to the mattresses after revealing she and her husband regularly switch which side of the bed they sleep on. Angelina Murphy, posting at Renovating Our Home, dropped her boudoir bombshell in a video that has racked up roughly 1 million views. This is cut 12.
We do not have a regular side of the bed that we sleep on. Last night I slept on that side, and then the night before, for like 2 or 3 nights in a row, I slept on this side. It's never discussed. We just randomly pick a side when we go to sleep. And whenever this has come up in conversation, people act like that is the craziest thing they've ever heard.
It is.
But I don't know. We just never picked a side of the bed. So I'm bringing it to TikTok to see if it is actually as crazy as everybody says it is.
Yeah, very crazy.
Who doesn't have a side of the bed
So
that they always sleep on?
I have different rules. Like at a hotel, I always want to be closest to the air conditioning unit.
Okay.
I also want to be closer to the wall. And if it's like if it's like 2 beds in one hotel room, I want to be on the far right or left. I don't want to be like in the middle. But I just need I don't care which side, but I do pick a side, and I base that off of like the end table. I need a little table next to where I sleep, where I put my phone and water.
So the side of the bed you sleep on, if you're facing it, is it the left or the right side?
See, I don't care as long as I have like either the wall or the end table.
But it's a consistent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always
Dawn?
sleeping like on the right.
Dawn?
Even when we recently drove 13 hours to Des Moines, Iowa, and so on our family road trip, and we stayed in multiple hotels, I am always on the left side of the bed. Larry's always on the right side of the bed. Always. 23 years of marriage.
I agree.
Never changes.
I agree. I'm always on the left side of the bed. So like if you're standing at the foot of the bed, Dawn, you like the left, like your left. That's the side you sleep on, right?
Oh, if you're standing at the foot of the bed,
Yeah.
then I would be on the right.
Oh, okay. So you're on the right.
Yes.
Larry's on
Larry's
the
on
left.
the left.
Okay.
Larry, L for L. Larry left, Dawn right. Dawn's
Where are
always
you?
right.
I'm on the left side of the bed, so I'm on the side
Okay.
that Larry sleeps on.
You ever sleep at the opposite end of the bed?
No.
You never done that before?
Never.
No.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious if there are people out there that switch sides. Like, hey, tonight I'm going to be on the left. Tonight I'm going to be on the right. Tonight I'm going to that's just weird, right?
Yeah.
You have your own
How
space.
many pillows do you use?
2, always
You're a
2.
2 pillow?
Yeah.
I use a neck wedge.
My wife likes those really hard pillows. I
Yeah.
need like a pillow that's barely a pillow.
Like
you know?
feathery?
Yeah, like
Just
no,
caves?
something that's like I use her pillow that she had when she was like 5 years old because it's so smashed down. There's like nothing left
Yeah,
in it.
that's what I want.
It's barely a pillow. That's
Yeah.
exactly. And I bring that when we go on vacation, all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I bring it.
Like a baby. Bring the pillow.
Pillows,
By the way,
pillows are bad for you. By the way.
By the way,
Our
I am all
doctors say
for.
you should sleep flat.
You know, this is not an indication of my marriage. My marriage is fine. You know.
Yes.
But because of the hour we get up in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm for separate bedrooms 5 days.
Oh,
a
I
week.
totally am.
I can't.
Absolutely, separate bathrooms. The whole bit.
I just she
keep your
moves
toothbrush
around
away
and,
from
like,
mine.
just can't. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know what time I get up in the morning? Like I need.
Oh, I know what time we start.
We start at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have the right pillows. You're cranky.
I'm definitely for the separate bathrooms.
Separate bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we sleep in the same bed.
Right.
No, we do as well. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be opposed to separate bedrooms because I feel like, you know.
Have you ever been forced to sleep on the couch due to a mistake?
No. My wife is actually, when she's sick or whatever,
Yeah.
she has insomnia. Most type A's can't sleep. I am obviously not a type A, so I sleep like a bear.
Same here.
If she's tossing and turning, like she'll get up and go into the other room. Like she's good like that.
I used to enjoy back in the day the occasional. I fell asleep on the couch watching whatever, and I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, "Do I go upstairs and get?" Yeah, I was gonna stay right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that from time to time. You
Just
get-
sleep. Yeah, just sleeping, just falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah, and then you wake up with a sore back and a neck, and you're like, "Gosh, if I'd taken the 30 seconds and gone up the steps, I wouldn't feel like this."
So Dawn, you and your husband have separate bathrooms?
No.
Oh, but you're for it.
I'm for it.
Gotcha. You want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want separate.
Do you guys have separate closets?
That's a good question.
And by the way,
Well, that's a trick question.
I got to call out the dudes that have like their own closet where they need like 40 pairs of sneakers and 35 sport coats.
That's my husband.
My sister's husband, and he's not like in TV. He's not a beta male. He's a Oklahoma conservative Republican. He's got and you can afford it, but he's got a closet like he's Louis Vuitton Jr. And it just doesn't fit. This is where you don't judge a book by its cover, by the way.
Yeah.
I've seen he's got all these watches in there, and I'm like, doesn't fit. You're like a truck and a handgun guy. He's got 30 pairs of Gucci loafers.
See, that's my husband. No, we have the big walk-in closet with all the like the California closet, big closet. But then I have two other closets in the house, just for coats and gowns and all this stuff.
Gowns. Wow, look at you, fancy.
You still have your wedding gown, Dawn?
That's
I
a
do.
great question.
In a box.
In a box.
Like how they professionally.
Yeah.
I've never actually opened it up, so they could have just thrown it in there all crumpled up. I'd never know. Why do we keep this stuff?
The real question is, Dawn, does it still fit?
I'm going to say yes.
Probably.
I'm going to say
I don't know.
yes. Yeah.
It'd be snug right now.
Right.
On the diet.
Yeah, I would agree with you about separate bathrooms, separate bedrooms,
separate cars,
and by the way, this has nothing. I love my wife.
Yeah.
We get along great. Like
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with it. I think she would probably agree too.
Yeah.
It's because of what we do, because of what time we have to get up. I just feel like separate bedrooms is kind of a thing, right?
Valdez says I use a dresser and a closet for my sweatshirt.
All right.
You done? Is that it? You spill your bucket, or you got more?
No, I think let's do one more, shall we?
Yeah.
So this is a school board meeting from your old neck of the woods, Nick Kayal, White County Schools in Sparta, Tennessee.
Oh, yes, know it well.
The parents blasted the White County School Board after a teacher gave middle schoolers an assignment to write a story about themselves murdering someone.
Oh, boy. I thought we were going to go down the road of homework is racist, but we went way beyond that.
No, so this is a middle school in Sparta, Tennessee. This is the school board. You can imagine parents were not happy about this.
It's a room, and you walk around the room for people to see it. It was a little morgue, he said. It had windows everywhere, maybe possibly blood laying around. And then she told them the third one that they have the sentence, they have to finish the sentence, but they couldn't change the first two. I have it here. My son never even started it, and I was very proud of him. And I want you guys to know that this is a new teacher. It says, I never meant to kill her. I only wanted to hurt her. But now her ghost followed me wherever I go. This is not a book. This is not something that they're studying. This was merely just for fun, apparently. I don't know how you can make this to be fun. I don't know how you can make it enjoyable. And my son told me that, he said, Mom, I sit there the rest of the class period, and all I thought was my mind is going to dark places. If a student got a hold of this, and they just made a fictional book, and they finished that story, and it fell on the ground, and another kid come and pick that up, that kid would go to the office, that kid would probably get expelled, that kid would probably have to be investigated from DCS, the parents would be investigated, and everything else. So the next day, I called and I asked for, I wanted to do protocol, and I asked to talk to the teacher. I did not get to talk to the teacher. I was told that Mr. D and the principal at the middle school would get back with me. By the end of the day, I heard that the teacher was brought in for questioning, and she was told that she couldn't do it again. But that was it. I still never got to ask her why she solicited all these students, not just my kid, all of the rest of the school or the classes, to that. We have enough violence. We have enough negativity in the world for our kids to be subject to stuff like this.
Wow. Well, that's a hell of a way for a new teacher to make a statement. We're going to write a term paper on how you would murder somebody?
How you would murder somebody.
White County, Tennessee. Well, look, listen. All right, I guess white people are never happy. They're never satisfied in White County, Tennessee. You're mad that you had to do an assignment on murder. Would you rather have to do your gender identity and pronouns? I'm just kidding. White murder?
Yeah.
What are we...
I mean, like, look, we've all had wacky creative writing assignments in college and stuff, but middle school, really?
First-year teacher.
Can you imagine?
How would you kill somebody?
Yeah. I mean, she's right in the fact that she says that if a kid wrote about that, they would be brought up on charges.
Yeah. Oh, my God. They'd be in the guidance counselor's office being, like, having their brain examined.
Exactly.
When did school become so complex?
I don't know.
I mean, if it's not the pronouns and the ridiculous stuff, writing assignments on murder, and this is post-pandemic where we're behind in reading and math.
Yeah. By the way, we're like 18 likes now away from 200, so please hit the like button. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. You
Just
see all our lovely faces.
I'm going to make a total 180 here. Just homeschool your children. If you can afford to do it, the hell with these schools. These people are all just out of their minds.
Yeah, look, I hear what you're saying.
Vouchers.
I hear what you're saying. Yes, school choice needs because homeschooling is just you want the socialization,
of course,
for your kids.
I do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all became who we were because of
unburdened
what we did in
by
school.
what we've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a Kamala moment there.
No.
You're getting philosophical.
I'm not getting philosophical. All I'm saying is that we learned to interact with people and do things in school because we were there with our peers.
Yep.
So that gets taken away if you're at home.
I agree.
Well, if you homeschool, you still have a right to. You can homeschool, but then you still have a right to join the football team, get all the books that they get. So you could participate in their sports if you wanted to.
That's true.
But I just have to wonder if what's happening in girls' sports will influence this. And will we go to those PIAA type teams as opposed to school teams? Will parents opt out because of what's happening with, biological males competing against the girls?
All the homeschool people are coming after me. I knew this was going to happen.
Why?
I knew it. You don't know about homeschooling. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is one of the best.
Stop it! Just stop it!
I have to look this up. I think Pennsylvania, I'm not going to say we're the top, but we are one of the top homeschooling states in the nation.
That's right.
So it's really, it's nice here. There's a real nice support network. I have friends who've done it and loved it.
Yeah.
And in fact, a family member in Bucks County, for example, and they homeschooled, and their one son was accepted to like all the Ivy League schools. They were way ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
what do you got?
We're 8 likes away from 200. Just hit the like button.
I thought you had instant feedback.
Lebo says, "Is there any setting for permanent liking?" asking for a friend.
A permanent like.
Yeah, I like that. See? Right. I always read the negative, so I figure I read a positive.
Absolutely.
I'm getting a lot of shrapnel for my comments.
Shrapnel. Is that it? We're done?
That's it, buddy.
All right. Part 2 coming up in 1 hour. After Dawn's Big 3, we have to get to a new pivot for Ron DeSantis. What will be his debate strategy on Wednesday? It was apparently leaked, and I actually think this is a sign of desperate times calling for desperate measures, because this one specific strategy, if you would have told me this was his game plan back in February, I would have said campaign over already. But that's where we are, and we'll share that with you coming up next. But right now, Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 8:37.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal and Company.
Big 3 at 8, sponsored this morning by United Tire. Number 1, a suspect charged in connection with a string of high-end burglaries targeting Asian Americans in Montgomery County and the suburbs. So this is police identifying, saying DNA evidence actually led them to ID and arrest Freddie Alexander Beltran Ortiz, who's a New York man, 25 years old, facing 5 felony charges related to this alleged burglary. But this is a follow-up, because remember, this is the Montgomery County DA's office. They announced that they were working with the Abington Police Department and law enforcement partners at the federal, state, and local level, because for several years we've seen this crime trend with these crime rings, in particular from other states, targeting Asian American business owners, even following them because of stereotypes that Asian American business owners have cash, have high-end items, for example, and that they would be tracked and stalked, followed from their business to their homes, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the most recent, I think it was Huntington Valley. I want to say I had reported on this. There was a break-in that happened fairly recently. Yeah, Huntington Valley, a home there. And so they had broken in and gotten away with a lot, but that one cracked the case. This has been going on for years, so expect that if this is a ring, perhaps we'll see more of these arrests to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, it's disturbing because some of these were very organized. They would go in neighborhoods with the clipboards. Remember, we reported this in New Jersey and in Delaware. These are rings.
Yep.
Some of these rings are actually, what did we call them? Tourism criminals.
Okay.
Who come across, they were calling them tourism criminals because they didn't want to say there were people who came across the southern border.
Right.
And they're involved in organized crime.
Tourism criminals.
So this is a follow-up on that one. But obviously Kevin Steele was in with Nick in his studio talking about the backing the badge and the big ride. And this is Kevin Steele, his office, making this announcement. So kudos to them for cracking down on these types of criminals that really terrify neighbors and neighborhoods and that sort of thing.
And by the way, on a tracking and surveillance front, the clip that we posted on social media yesterday with you talking about the Phillies and the facial recognition, that got a lot of run as well.
Oh, people. Okay, so
a lot of comments today yesterday, by the way.
Reacting. Good. Yeah. And in New Jersey, the Second Amendment is on trial, as we know, where the firearms industry really took a blow from a federal court ruling that New Jersey is allowed to sue gun manufacturers under the state's quote-unquote public nuisance law. So a 3-judge panel making this decision unanimously was in appeals court, unanimously ruling that a legal challenge brought against the law by the National Sports Shooting Foundation, the NSSF, was premature. So though the court did acknowledge that the law is somewhat vague about which conduct can actually trigger a lawsuit from the state. So now we're hearing back from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. They are obviously they're already planning their appeal. So this right here, it's where is it going? The United States Supreme Court.
This reminds me of the movie Runaway Jury with Dustin Hoffman and Vicksburg Firearms.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Wait, and John Cusack.
And John Cusack, of course.
Such a great movie.
And you remember his name in that movie?
I don't.
Nick Easter.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I love that.
Ran a video game store.
And also, so I'll stick in New Jersey because this is going viral with New Jersey trying to get their VIG, their cut, and by this, cutting out the middleman. Okay, so this is a fascinating story as far as the New Jersey lottery. they're planning to debut a new system where you could buy your lottery tickets online directly through the state of New Jersey, cutting out those third-party vendors, but it would also cut out, you wouldn't have to go to your local whatever store because they all get a piece of the pie.
Yeah. So more online gambling is essentially what this is.
Basically, you're exactly right.
Okay.
So we don't know. They're not rolling out the details on this, but they're saying you can buy digital tickets directly from the New Jersey state site, and that will begin, that it's scheduled to debut, they say, in the fall of 2024, so about a year.
Okay.
And they're trying to cash in on these Mega Millions, Powerball, jackpots, and so they would wipe out that third-party provider, charge that service fee, but would the state now charge its own service fee?
In the meantime, you can take Stalker's FanDuel picks or Dawn's Bet Parks picks to get your fix.
So that is the big three this morning, obviously covering the other headlines of the day. And we've been covering so much since 6 this morning. Sponsored by United Tire. Is your car's AC unit making you sweat? Time to cool off and cash in on savings at United Tire. You can save $50 on any AC service with the purchase of 4 new tires from select brands at UnitedTire.com. So stop by or just visit UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United. Big three.
By the way, Nick, 4350 writes, men are supposed to sleep on the side nearest to the door to protect their wives in case of an intrusion.
Oh.
That's my side.
Me and Larry are both on the side we're not supposed to be, apparently.
To be honest with you, it's also the side my wife sleeps on, too.
Or at least we're staying on brand.
No, take her! Take her! It's all her!
I've got a show coming up. Opelka's on vacation.
Truthfully, my husband would sleep through it.
Yeah. Me too.
And I'm such a light sleeper, but also it's I think for women, especially with the baby and breastfeeding and stuff like that. So I'll just try to defend the men.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dawn. 8:43 on this Friday morning. We will get to the new DeSantis strategy for the debate that was revealed. I don't know if it was by accident, but we'll get to that on the other side. Got to tell you about my friends, though, at the Piazza Auto Group. They are booming right now. Things are so good for them that even Dawn's son is checking out the new Honda models. But I've been in the 2023 Ridgeline for the last 4 months, since about Memorial Day weekend, and I absolutely love it because it's perfect for what I need a truck to be. And if you're a truck person like me, that maybe you don't need it for hauling big things or landscaping or anything like that, this is the perfect model for you. And you can get yours in Springfield, Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading to take advantage of 0.9% APR. But if you're not in the market for a truck, that's fine. The Honda Civic, the Accord, the CR-V, the Pilot, and many more. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 different brands. Acura, Mercedes-Benz, Maserati, on down the list, Nissan. They've got you covered. And 35 locations. There's basically a Piazza Auto Group dealership within a couple of miles of you. It's my go-to for all things automotive. To find your new or certified pre-owned vehicle, visit at piazzaautogroup.com.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
See Sting and Shaggy at the Men September 9th. And see Yes at the Met September 22nd. Plus, see Jerry Seinfeld at the Met Saturday, October 6th. 2 shows in one night only. Sting and Shaggy, Yes, and Jerry Seinfeld. For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
It's college season, and parents have a lot to consider.
You can say that again.
You got 6 college visits.
2 down.
18 care packages.
I know my baby.
Then there's Parents' Weekend.
Just one?
Speaking of, when you get a Citizen student loan with multi-year approval, all you need is one easy application. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one and done. Citizens, made ready.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are partnering again with our Costco members. Purchase a certified 2020, 21, or 22 XC40, XC60, or XC90 and receive an incredible additional discount up to $1,500 off. A discount added to the unbelievably already aggressive pricing at Cherry Hill Volvo. Join us for this special offer. Cherry Hill Volvo and Costco and you, perfect together.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company rolling on live Friday morning, 8:48. Nick, Dawn, Greg, Daniel, and Anthony. Big final hour on the way, which will include some stuff from Hollywood when it comes to Animal House, all-time classic, as well as what they are saying about the Snow White movie. And we've also got a story when it comes to Walmart. As Target struggles, Walmart soars. That's coming up in just a little bit. But also, Ron DeSantis. I've got two stories on DeSantis. One we'll get to in the 9 o'clock hour, which was not penned by me, but there was a letter, an open letter penned to Ron DeSantis with what his strategy should be for next week. Although it looks like the debate strategy has apparently been leaked. And I don't know if this was accidental. I don't know if this was a fictitious post. I'm not sure if this was from the Fulton County Clerk's office. But this was from probably somebody within the DeSantis camp, maybe just to get a reaction and see how people that are paying attention react to this. And I never thought we would get to the point where we are 5 days away from the first debate. And Ron DeSantis has been kind of repackaged and rebranded multiple times. It's like a format for a radio station that's not catching on with an audience, and they flip it from this format to that format, and then they change the hosts, and it just doesn't work.
It's a great analogy.
It's really remarkable. So the strategy is to, and this is from worldnewsera.com, Ron DeSantis needs to, quote, take a sledgehammer to Vivek Ramaswamy, the political newcomer who is rising in the polls. He should, quote, defend Donald Trump when Chris Christie inevitably attacks the former president, and he needs to attack Joe Biden and the media no less than 3 to 5 times. So next Wednesday, 9 o'clock on Fox, when we watch this, let's see if DeSantis does these 3 things. He attacks Joe Biden and the media, which I think is a sound strategy, which he has done before. He defends Donald Trump and tries to play the opposite role of what Chris Christie's trying to carve out for a lane and a path for himself, which I actually think would be a good strategy. And then take a sledgehammer to Vivek.
Well, I got to defend my man Vivek here. He was just on the Big Take on Wednesday. He's my new VP choice. Did you ever think we would get to the point where 6 months into, after everybody's kind of announced and thrown their name in the hat and jumped into the pool, that the presumptive challenger, the guy who was the closest thing that could take over the party during Trump's third bid attempt or post-Trump, would have to resort to, and we've heard DeSantis with these very strong, almost military type quotes of, we got to slit the throat and we've got to take him out at the kneecaps. And now he's like Triple H on Monday Night Raw. He's gonna get a sledgehammer and crush the rising Ramaswamy.
Nobody knows what that means.
If I'm DeSantis,
Yeah.
I don't waste my time with Vivek. With all due respect to Vivek, and I like Vivek, and you know that.
But who do you go after?
Joe Biden in the media, number one. You're inevitably going to have to discuss the elephant in the room, who actually won't be in the room in all likelihood. That's Trump. What is hammering away on Vivek do for you? Does that win you any other votes? Does that get your polling up? Oh, so you're attacking the 37-year-old guy, the one guy that's actually kind of been in lockstep with Trump, and you're doing that. So what did I say months ago? You don't acknowledge those that are not a threat to you. By acknowledging Vivek, you are acknowledging that he is a threat to you. And it's interesting that we've got Christie in this conversation because of just 2 days ago, Chris Christie jumped ahead of DeSantis in New Hampshire. We've had a poll where Vivek has been ahead of DeSantis. In some spots, you could argue DeSantis has fallen to the third or fourth slot in select polls and small sample sizes. I'm sorry, if I'm like advising DeSantis, and he's probably got too many of them, that's why he's kind of fumbling here. I'm like, dude, unless Vivek comes directly at you, just pretend he doesn't exist.
Yeah, but I think what DeSantis sees is that Ramaswamy is rising and DeSantis has declined. So he's, I mean, in that one, what did you quote, the Fox News one or Trafalgar?
I forget which one it was.
But, you know, in the Fox News poll, that one, Ramaswamy's 11, DeSantis is 16, Trump 53.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
they're fighting for the crumbs, like you say. But, you know, but then the Trafalgar group, that one, Ramaswamy's only 4, DeSantis 17. But, I mean, DeSantis looks like he's a little bit on the downward, Ramaswamy on the upward. So maybe DeSantis trying to swipe away some competition.
It's so funny how that the bloom came off of that rose so quickly. Right now, Daniel just put up on the YouTube chat, Vivek or DeSantis, who has a better shot? 84% of people say Vivek right now. That is unbelievable. Wow. That is unbelievable.
I've been trying to say it. Oh, you bailed on DeSantis. I'm just reading the room. I can sense the ebbs and the flows.
It's this audience. You know, but
I got it.
I don't, you know.
But here's the one strategy that has been omitted, and this is where I want to defend the people here. Take a sledgehammer to Vivek. Doesn't do anything for me personally. Defend Donald Trump. Doesn't do anything for me personally. Attack Joe Biden in the media. I love it. It's valid. It's warranted. Doesn't really do anything for me personally. Where's the strategy in quotes of what am I going to do for the American public if you select me?
Yeah.
Like we are so caught up in the sniping within the party, the attacking, and of course you have to attack the other side and point out their weaknesses. But as we have mentioned, and Vivek laid it out in his blueprint of, well, if it's about gender and race and inclusion and all this other stuff on the left, what is your counter to it? What does he say? Country, God, family, and something else. Like, what are you going to do? And we just gave you the Bidenomics in the big take this morning. How do you revert? Because at the end of the day, whether it's crime, drugs, border, the thing that matters, I think, most to all of us right now is the economy. We can't afford to do things. We're a $400 bill away, unexpected from this. What are you going to do to make my life more simplistic and affordable?
Yeah.
And you can sit there and say Bidenomics is terrible, and I laid out all the reasons why. But again, what is your plan to fix it? Like, I hate to say it, it's so simple, it makes my head spin. But like, this is not a difficult thing. We got to get away from just I'm going to do what resonates on social media. This will get clicks. Oh, this soundbite will go viral. How am I going to afford to pay my rising utility costs?
Well, let me ask you guys a question then. If for whatever weird reason Ron DeSantis is the nominee, for whatever reason, Trump people stay home?
Some might. Some might view him as disloyal. I would try to argue then you just got to put that to the side and say, well, if I stay home, then I'm going to lead to Joe Biden.
Because Sid, our buddy Sid, who I love, said something on Twitter a few days ago, which I think was very interesting.
Yep.
He said, we MAGA people are done voting for, these RINO candidates.
Okay. Well,
So
if you think DeSantis is a RINO, then knock yourself out.
No, I'm just like, that is the mindset of a lot of people, and I'm just.
But I don't think Vivek is a RINO.
No.
I think Chris Christie is definitely a RINO.
Right. Vivek and DeSantis are very conservative.
DeSantis is a RINO, but what I'm telling you, Sid and a lot of these guys that replied on that MAGA clip that we put on social media earlier this week,
because he's not an outsider,
we're saying that Ron DeSantis is a RINO.
Yeah. If you think he's a Republican in name only, and there's the word moderate attached to DeSantis in any category, DeSantis, if you look at all the issues, issue by issue, and I want everybody this is the last time I'm going to get angry for the week because I'm exhausted. This is look at every single issue. Ron DeSantis is about as far right as you can get on everything. So what makes him a RINO? Because he's a governor? Because he's not the outsider? So is everybody not Donald Trump now a RINO? Is that where we're at? Because if that's where we're at, then we're going to lose. And we're going to be stuck with this idiot for another 5 years. Like, is that really where we're at?
Well, and to your point, and I think you bring up a great point, and that is somehow Democrats, no matter who, if they had, I don't know, if they had Mickey Mouse, they would all rally around Mickey Mouse.
Yes,
okay?
and you've said this many times, and you're spot on.
Right? And they, oh, no, and they go for whoever they agree on. They all come together, and they just double down and triple down on whoever that D candidate is.
Yeah.
Republicans, because it's, conservatives, it's our nature, I think, to question things and have a more independent spirit, which is a good thing.
Right.
But on the other hand, at the end of the day, no matter all of the candidates on a very diversified group, right?
Yeah.
Any or all of the candidates running on the GOP side are better than Biden, Bidenomics, and what is happening with our economy, which is created. Let us not forget, and who was it? EJ Antoni just the other day said, this inflation, which is Bidenomics imposed, this inflation is costing the average American more than $4 per hour.
Yes.
That's what it's costing you.
Georgia as a state is trending purple right now. Soros just dumped a whole bunch of money in Texas. They're trying to turn Texas purple. You know what state has never been more red? It's ruby red, grapefruit red. Florida. Who's the governor of Florida? DeSantis. So short of the hardcore Trump supporter in Florida that feels, or the lover of DeSantis that feels like, well, Ron kind of bailed on us. Like Bruno was mentioning that a little bit on Wednesday, that some Floridians are upset with DeSantis. But go into that state and poll Floridians not named Bruno or Susie Cool and ask them if Ron DeSantis is a moderate, if Ron DeSantis is a RINO. They would be like, no shot in hell.
Yeah.
He's as conservative as it gets. So I don't understand this. Well, he's a part of the swamp. Well, unless you can pluck another Trump off the tree, they're all part of the swamp to some extent. Like, it's like you want this like fairy tale savior complex that's just not going to come around every 4 years. I hate to break it to people. Like, my God.
But as of this minute, it's not even really, it's not a contest. I mean, Trump is far and away.
Oh, yes.
No
away, question.
Right?
No question.
He's the guy.
And I'm down on DeSantis as anybody, but like let's not sit there and say he's like some moderate like Chris Christie or a constitutional conservative like Mike Pence. The guy is about as hardcore red as it gets. You've heard his stance on abortion, right? I mean, I rest my case.
Well, why do you think? Just look.
That alone is why you won't win.
Yeah,
well, and that might be valid. So that further proves my point.
Look at who the media loves. Look at the media darlings: Chris Christie, former New Jersey governor, and Bill Barr. Now these two, they threw him under the bus at different points. Now they love these two media darlings. Why? Because right now they're Trump bashing.
Yeah.
That tells you all you need to know.
Yep.
The goal of the media right now, the so-called mainstream media, is just trying to get the Republicans who are so-called MAGA Republicans to stay home and get mad if Trump is not the nominee. And on the other hand, just try to cause division among conservative voters. That's the goal.
Yes.
By the way, if you want to vote, right now, Vivek is running away with it at 75%.
Ramaswamy.
Vivek or DeSantis, who has the better shot? Go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT, and you can vote on that poll right
There you go.
now.
All right. I think saying DeSantis is a RINO is like saying Joe Biden is fiscally conservative. But what do I know? I'm just an entertainer, right?
Look at that throwback.
855-839-1210. Final hours coming up next. Thank God. Kayal and Company. Stay right there. We're back after this.
Dom Giordano's charging up his golf cart and heading back down the shore.
From Mulligan's at 310 West Hildreth. No power outage here. Nothing is stopping this train.
This afternoon, join the fun for Dom's live broadcast. Noon till 3 at Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill. 310 West Hildreth Avenue, Wildwood. Summer's almost over, so don't miss your chance to enjoy the beach, boardwalk, and some beers with Dom at Mulligan's. Today at noon on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Your new kitchen appliances look stunning. Thanks. We had a blast shopping for them at National Appliance Warehouse. There's over 100 brands in their huge showroom. The best part was knowing everything was at the best price. You must have done a ton of research. Oh, we didn't need to. They use a cutting-edge technology called Price Assure. It searches prices online and updates electronic Price Assure tags in real time to make sure theirs is the lowest. Lower than the big box stores. Especially them, with much better service, too. And they do it all. Delivery, installation, everything.
National Appliance Warehouse in Wilmington.
Yes, they may not be the closest, but they'll make your wallet the happiest.
The Friends and Family Savings Event is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Save on LG. Get a deluxe stainless steel kitchen suite with French door refrigerator from LG, regularly $43.43 for only $21.99.88 after rebate. That's a budget saving $2,143.12. An incredible package. Preview the savings at nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their easily accessible showroom on 202 in tax-free Wilmington.
Hi, I'm Mark Luca, president of Aqua Pennsylvania. Aqua wants to help you avoid costly and unsafe sewer backups. Don't flush disinfectant or other hygiene wipes down the toilet. Even flushable wipes can cause backups in household plumbing and larger blockages in wastewater collection systems. Dispose of all wipes in the trash instead. Also, don't flush tissues, napkins, or paper towels, which can also contribute to clogs in pipes. Aqua Pennsylvania, an Essential Utilities company.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Your official home for Penn State football and basketball is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. Listen to every Nittany Lions game on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. The Dudette Dental Group is the official dentist for the Philadelphia Eagles and would love to care for you. The Eagles trust Dr. D and his team, and you can too. With 30 area locations, the Dudette Dental Group provides specialized care like dental implants, root canal therapy, fillings, and more. During the offseason, take care of your smile and get ready to cheer on our team. Dudette Dental Group accepts all major dental insurances and has preseason specials on whitening and cosmetic dentistry. Visit PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's John Ritchie. Going back to school means getting back to busy schedules, from the science fair to the ball field to that after-school snack. We're always on the go. So add a little tasty to your kids' day and pack some delicious Tasty Cake mini muffins, seasonal favorites like s'mores baked pies, or the classic crimpet. There's only one way to make your kids' day tasty. Anything else is a mistake. Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Kayal and Company, 9:06, Friday morning. Big final hour underway. 15 minutes away from the morning mystery movie clip. Also, what's on the cut sheet part due. Who on Twitter today? What's on tap for the Dawn Show? Some Hollywood stories coming up in about 25 minutes. How about this? Animal House, Snow White, and Barbie. Barbie could be the complete opposite of what Snow White is expected to be, and the results will absolutely be different. We'll tell you why. Coming up in just a little bit. 855-839-1210. Get us on Twitter and Instagram at 1210 WPHT. Watch us on YouTube. Stream us on the free Odyssey app. Are we in the vicinity of where you would like to be for likes and subscribers for today? Did we get to 200 likes?
We did. Woo-hoo. We smashed 200. So thank you for that.
Beautiful.
I appreciate it. But always like it. Like the page, like the feed, I guess it is. If you're watching right now, hit the like button.
That's correct.
Because it gets in people's feeds, and like that's the reason. Everybody's like, why do you say it so much? Because when I say it, people do it, and then the more likes we get, the more it shows up in people's feeds.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
it's like
maybe
the version of like retweeting, but for YouTube.
It'll turn people on to us if they consume programs like this.
Right.
That's all I'm doing, man. I'm just trying to grow the brand.
It's
my
all
job.
It's all about the brand.
It's all about the brand.
That's why he's the brand manager. He's managing the brand. Exactly. So we gave you the DeSantis strategy, allegedly, that you're going to hear and see on Wednesday. But I do want to read this. This was from The Blaze, and this will put a bow on our DeSantis conversation. And this kind of goes in stride with what I've been saying about how important Wednesday is for Ron DeSantis. And I've said it's kind of do or die for him, especially if Trump is not going to be there. But this sounds like something that I would have written if The Blaze would have reached out to me back in February or March. And it goes like this. Dear Governor Ron DeSantis, I was proud to endorse you last week. And as I said at the time, your unprecedented accomplishments as governor of Florida earned my support. No elected official in my lifetime has done more damage to our enemies than you have. You have broken the mold. You showed conservatives that we can win and govern on our principles unapologetically when implemented and messaged effectively. Your success is why Florida had the red wave last year that the rest of the country did not. And now the Democrat Party is in a state of extinction in a state Barack Obama won twice not too long ago. You accomplished all of this by being precisely and doing precisely what the GOP consultant class has claimed for a generation we would never be allowed to do, which is exactly why I am writing this open letter on the eve of the first GOP presidential primary debate. I believe you are undoubtedly our strongest candidate. I believe you have proven that you are the one who won't just message and market the MAGA, but will actually do the MAGA. They don't want you to see this. Big tech does its best to limit what news you see. Make sure you see our stories daily, directly. But obviously, your presidential campaign hasn't gotten off to the start that was planned. Hence, changes were made. People forgot and forget that your primary rival for the nomination, Donald Trump, took 6 months on the campaign trail before he homed in on the message that made him the winner the first time he ran. He also went through 4 different campaign managers and consultants on his way to the presidency, too. But past can become prologue on Wednesday in Milwaukee. For much of the GOP primary electorate, this first debate is when the 2024 race will truly begin. This will be the first time they will take a close look at the candidates and seriously assess the race as a whole. That means this is your opportunity to make everyone forget this sluggish campaign start and instead remind everybody what you did in Florida. You crushed your enemies, you saw them driven before you, and now all we hear are the lamentations of their non-binary beings. Let me put it more simply and plainly, Governor. It is time to let her rip. That is an open letter to Ron DeSantis, which I think that is very strong there. And this kind of actually plays to what you have been saying, Stalker, that it's early.
We're not even like
so early.
Is this truly the first launching point on Wednesday night, in your opinion?
No, I don't even think Wednesday.
Okay.
We're still in August, guys. Like, this is, parents are worried about back to school or taking that last minute vacation before school starts.
Okay.
No, I don't think we get into this really until mid-fall, honestly.
Okay. So you're thinking
I
like
agree.
Halloween?
I don't have a date, but
when people really start paying attention, you're saying, and taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, look, we're speaking and they're speaking to the diehards and the people who follow this stuff very closely. But the majority of people have no idea. They know Trump indictments. They know Ron DeSantis is running. But if you ask them beyond that, most people couldn't answer anything.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys this question in 1 second about Wednesday, but just let me remind people this segment is brought to you by Discover Lancaster. Discover more of Lancaster if you're headed to Lancaster County this weekend for the family to enjoy the rides at Dutch Wonderland. It's a kingdom for kids, just a 90-minute drive from Philadelphia. Visit Lancaster.com to plan your getaway. So let's do like a real hacky, stupid sports radio type question. Like for a preseason game when the Eagles play the Browns. Wednesday night, Fox News, the primary. In your opinion right now, who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose based on their performance, if in fact this is the first opportunity where some Americans that might not be on vacation because they can't afford to go because of Bidenomics, they tune in and they say, all right, I'm gonna see what all the hoopla is about so-and-so. Biggest loser, biggest winner could be who on Wednesday night? I think the biggest winner and loser would be DeSantis. Post with no Trump. But beyond that, I think there's a lot of people that might mention a Christie or a Ramaswamy. Maybe somebody's out there saying, boy, you know what? I've been hearing a lot about Vivek, and I've heard Kayal talk about him. Let me see this cat in action. Biggest winner and loser Wednesday night in your guys' minds?
I think DeSantis has the most to lose. I think Vivek Ramaswamy has the most to gain.
I don't disagree with that.
And so that's my question. This could be, and remember we've talked about, Donald J. Trump when he really caught everyone's attention and respect when it was Fox News and Megyn Kelly and that back and forth, and he doubled down and people loved it. And everybody said, "Oh, Trump, he's not afraid of the media. No matter if it's Fox News or anybody, he's going to go after it. And he's confident, and he's a commander in chief. He's got the look."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what people are looking for, not somebody who's all coached and ducking and submissive, but somebody who's coming out and saying, no, this is what we need to do to make America great again.
Yeah.
So who will emerge from this? And will it be somebody we've talked a lot about? I think also Tim Scott has a lot to gain here because people don't know who he is. So these moments can be great moments for somebody to be a breakout, but at the same time, it could be Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something that's going to be very unpopular, but I don't care. That's what I do. I think the person who has the most to gain and is going to be the best at this is Chris Christie.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
In the fact that he's going to differentiate himself from every other candidate. And everybody's going to say, yeah, well, he's a RINO. He's not really a Republican. Fine. Great. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Okay.
I'm saying that in debates like this, when Trump is not on the stage, he is the best debater.
And with Trump not being there and Christie's whole lane being the lane of going after Trump, how much does Christie have to worry about overdoing the Trump stuff on Wednesday night? Because we know what he feels and says about Trump. But what is Christie's vision moving forward other than saying we've got to get Joe? Like, we all know Joe Biden's got to be taken out. We've got to get him out of office. But what is your plan? Because it might resonate, like, CNN and MSNBC, they'll play the Christie clips of him attacking Trump. But is there anything of substance that Chris Christie will bring to the table?
What are you going to do for me?
Right.
That's what everybody.
Right.
How much have you started out the morning at 6 o'clock with a great Nick Kayal's big take on the economy and how people are suffering. and still paying $50+ for backpacks, which I still can't believe.
Thank you for the email. I will be getting that $24 one very shortly.
I know, right?
Thank you.
But seriously,
Yeah.
so unless Chris Christie can break out as saying, "Hey, this is my plan to make America great again," then he really, what are you doing up here? And then for DeSantis, he's got to get away from all those little slogans and culture war stuff, and again tell people, what are you going to do for me?
Yep.
And then as well, it's who gets the sound bites, who delivers the jab.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be a Nikki Haley? Will it be a Tim Scott? If they can deliver something that's eye-popping, that gets all the play on social media, as we've talked about, do they now get the attention of people go, oh, let me look at this candidate a little more?
I can't imagine either one of them saying anything that gets the attention on social media.
I don't know. You never know.
It feels like to me, and I know Tim Scott could certainly be vice president, but from a debate standpoint, I feel like Wednesday night might be where South Carolina rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, but remember I'm sorry, Greg.
No, go.
Remember in the one debate, it was Kamala Harris who said, I was that girl on the bus, Joe. And she had a great moment, and she made everybody else awkward, and she owned it, and she was the one who ended up being
I went
the
to
beat.
school on a school bus.
Yep.
So those moments matter.
Yeah.
And also they matter for fundraising. Because if you are considered to have a great debate and you're getting traction, you're going to get that fundraising. But let us not forget North Dakota's governor. He's interesting to me because he's this dark horse in Albergum. He's the dark horse in all of this.
Vivek, Christie, DeSantis will be like fourth, I think. Like as far as people who shine in these debates.
Vivek and Christie.
Yeah.
All right. 855-839-1210.
Look, I know it's an unpopular.
No,
and
you
it
might
is
be
nothing.
right.
I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm not saying I like this person over the other. All I'm saying, you asked me who has the most to gain on this debate stage, and to me, I think it's Chris Christie.
I think
he's
the
really
mainstream
good
media,
at this.
Yeah, and I think the mainstream media is going to, and it'd be interesting to see how other networks cover what Fox is doing exclusively and how they position. So, like, kind of the post-game reaction. Let's say CNN or MSNBC around 11 o'clock go to a 7-person panel and they start breaking down the debate. It'll be interesting to see the way they frame Christie's performance because he is a mainstream media darling.
Sure he is.
So
absolutely he is.
Keep that in mind.
And they will say, because he'll be the only. He's not afraid to get booed.
No,
and he's going to get booed. I assume if you can boo and clap in that audience, I don't know if you can. Some debates are different than others.
Yep.
But he's going to say He's going to say things that are not unpopular, but he's not going to shy away from it.
Yep.
So but he's also going to be a target, and you're going to have. I mean, if I'm on that stage and I'm against Chris Christie, I'm going to say, hey, Chris Christie, what did you ever do for New Jersey?
Right.
What did you do other than throw a water bottle at your female employee who worked for you and you threw her under the bus?
Do you think anybody would bring that up in the debate?
I totally would.
Because I absolutely
would go right there for the jugular.
Oh, I totally agree.
But I would say, what have you ever done?
Yep.
And honestly, what have you done? And so I think all of those other people, and that's why I say North Dakota's, I'm anxious to see Doug Burgum because we don't know much about him. He's a total dark horse, but he could come out of this.
Is he on the
swinging.
stage?
I thought he was. Yeah, he's the one who said, "Hey, he is on the stage." Okay. He's the one who sent people. He said, "If you send a donation for like $1, a couple bucks."
Oh, Pelka did it.
Right?
He tweeted about it. He got his $20 bill or whatever.
He gave
it was.
out gift cards.
Or gift card, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Opelka tweeting about that. He actually got the gift card. What a concept. Oh, boy. 855-839-1210.
Honestly, I just want to see Vivek and Christie debate one another because I think that's the whole thing for me right there. DeSantis is kind of like, he's not, he'll say what he's going to be good with policy, but he's not a great debater.
No.
Vivek is a great debater.
Well,
Christie is a great debater.
Wasn't DeSantis the lead of the Harvard debate team?
It's different. It's different though, Dawn.
We don't know. That's the point. We don't know. We've never seen these individuals together.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen them, Greg, and that's why. I mean, we live and breathe this stuff.
Yep.
But I
We're
am
the
anxious.
only ones who
I know.
Nobody else cares. Nobody else is going to watch it. It's going to get like it'll be a 2.6 or something like that. Nobody's going to watch this thing. Without Trump on the stage, it's going to be,
with Trump on the stage, it's like Kayal and Company. Without Trump on the stage, it's like a second-rate sports morning show. It's just going to get a 2.6.
Listen to you.
Yeah, it's just,
And that's just it. We don't know. Maybe it will be exciting to watch. Maybe it'll be a good thing that we get to see the other candidates, either how low energy and awful they are, or will a few emerge as impressive?
Well, I hope it'll be good because I normally write the big take around 3:30 in the afternoon. This one's going to be written up around 10 o'clock at night, so if I'm going to stay up, they better be good.
It's not going to be good.
I know.
It's not.
Maybe I'll be like Fulton County. I'll just get my template out and I'll just fill it in hours in advance and submit it to you guys.
This is the without Trump on the stage. This is the preseason game.
It is.
This is the Eagles playing without Jalen Hurts.
It is.
This is talking about who's going to be the backup quarterback. Will it be Marcus Mariota or will it be what's his name?
Foles?
No, the other guy.
Tyler McGee or Tanner McGee.
Well, or who will be the Tyree Cleveland or the Moro Ojomo?
Yeah,
who will be taken off the field?
Who gets carried out on a gurney Wednesday?
Right?
I got Chris Christie as the odds-on favorite. His belt buckle might pop.
Let me ask you this: What if DeSantis has a horrible performance? Is it over for him? Is he DOA?
No, nobody.
So,
not enough people are paying attention right now for it to be over for anybody.
I've said it could be do or die. I'm just saying.
But it makes fundraising more difficult.
It does.
It does, yeah.
It does. All right, 9:22. Let's get to our final edition on a Friday of the Morning Mystery Movie Clip.
And now, the Morning Mystery Movie Clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Are you saying you don't want to go to college?
No, I'm saying that it is fiscally irresponsible for me to go to college. You know?
Are you huffing?
Oh, God. No.
Are you high?
You're huffing grass? No, I'm not huffing, Mom. I'm not stoned. I'm completely fine. In fact, I'm more clear and level-headed than I've ever been.
Okay, cut the crap, Bartleby. Society has rules. And the first rule is, you go to college. You want to have a happy and successful life? You go to college. You go to college.
Well, you know what? Maybe I didn't get into college. I didn't get accepted anywhere.
Oh, Bartleby.
Damn it.
I knew he should have started preparing for college in junior high. Like his sister.
Now, she's got a shot.
I've got a shot. She's got a shot.
Listen, guys, there are plenty of successful people who didn't go to college. Albert Einstein. Pocahontas never went to college.
Think you know what it is? Be caller 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Final pack of tickets to the Battleship New Jersey in Camden, New Jersey. If you can identify that movie clip, caller 12, 855-839-1210, the phone number. That movie came out 17 years ago today. Lorenzo's had a couple of easy ones this week and a couple of difficult ones. See if we can round it out here on a Friday as we continue live on Kayal and Company.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill, the energy bill that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
With food prices going up, it's hard to decide on what to buy and where to buy. If you're looking for a way to stretch your food dollars, look no further than your neighborhood grocery outlet. We have the name brands you love for 40 to 70% less than regular grocery stores. Our stores are locally owned and operated by people in your community, so we understand the challenges you are facing. Stop by your local grocery outlet today for deals you won't believe.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Your weekends just got a lot better. Sunday night, go live and local with Matt Rooney.
Cocaine shark. This is apparently a thing. Hauls of cocaine are said to be dropped in the ocean either to let smugglers collect them or as an attempt for criminals to escape from law enforcement.
Listen 7 to 10 p.m.
Amusing/disturbing, which is, I think, the way you can really describe the Matt Rooney Show in a nutshell here. Disturbing yet amusing.
The Matt Rooney Show, Sunday night 7 till 10. Listen this weekend. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Chip Snapper's trying to figure it all out. Let's talk to him. Hello, Chip.
You can always tell the kids from Kensington on the beach in Wildwood. They build them sand castles and then they board them up with popsicle sticks.
Hire Joe Conklin for corporate events.
We hired Joe for our sales meeting, and he was hilarious. He had everyone cracking up laughing.
Pick your next event up a notch. Hire comedian Joe Conklin. Go to joeconklin.com.
This is Matt Spiegel of 670 The Score in Chicago, and my podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is all about the art and craft of play-by-play. Catch up on episodes with Joe Davis, Joe Buck, and many more. Then something crazy happened along the way. I did a weekend of Cubs-Cardinals on the radio, so now conversations are enriched with feedback and advice from Jason Benetti, Boog Shambi, and others to come. The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don Stensland this morning at 10. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company, 9:28 Friday morning. The Dawn Show, just about a half hour out. We will find out what's on tap, as well as who on Twitter today. And also what's on the cut sheet part due. That's coming up. But right now, I believe we have our morning mystery movie clip winner, Chris in... Oh, we're still having the issue, I think.
Yep.
Let's see. So, okay.
No, it doesn't work.
So we cannot go to him, but he's got it. It's Chris in Philadelphia. He's our winner this morning. And it was the movie Accepted, which came out on August 18th, 2006.
Listen to your heart, that our phone lines blow. Listen to your heart. I bring it. In and out of every break, we need to jingle. Oh, my God.
Hey, we have, in the history of this show, the 10 and a half glorious months, we've had phone issues like twice. When I was doing sports radio, the phones would crash on a weekly basis.
It's unbelievable.
And it's amazing because all they wanted you to do was be a switchboard operator and take phone calls.
Yeah.
I can't I've got 13 people on the line that want to tell me about Nick Foles, and I can't go to them.
There used to be a morning host on this radio station who once said that his job is he's like a switchboard operator. He just takes phone calls.
Yeah.
Like, well, what kind of talk show host are you if all you do is take phone calls?
Right. If you depend on phone calls or guests as a sport, like the show is about you. That's why your name is on it, not Bob in Havertown. With all due respect to Bob in Havertown. So yeah.
But are we? Is it up and working?
I don't know. Let me check.
I'm working on it.
It usually takes 20 minutes for the pill to kick in.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
How many minutes?
I think it's 20. That's what I read. We don't need to go to them. We've got plenty of stuff.
No. We need phone calls because Dawn has guests. And, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, you know, it's not just I know, Nick, you think the radio station just ends at 9:54 as you're hightailing it out of here, but we're live and local all day long.
We're in the middle of a segment.
Oh my Lord, right, Dawn?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I'm totally yeah. So the guests, they don't call. They call in on the regular number, right? So the whole system's down. They can't get on either. I'm thinking just about callers right now. I wasn't thinking about the actual guests.
Do you want me to do some big three?
Yeah.
We do have to get to the big three. You're right. But I do want to get to this Snow White story and then also Animal House back in the news. But before all of that, because we do have to get to it, let's get to Dawn's big three.
I don't have production for the big three.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you don't?
Where is it? What is happening today?
It's just teleprompter's going down.
Did we have dead air when I ran to the bathroom?
Yeah, you were gone for too long, and Dorenzo came in and said,
Yeah. Did you wash your hands?
Of course.
The fastest I've seen Dorenzo move since October.
I know. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to hurt his leg again.
He's going to be on the scooter
I know.
again.
On the little scooter.
All right, we can't limp out of here. Come on, what
No,
are we doing?
I've got plenty of content.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the phone lines don't work. My production is gone.
Hey, hot water heater's been dead for 6 weeks.
Does anybody work here on Fridays?
Odyssey Augusts, where nobody does a
no.
damn thing. We're dead until Labor Day, folks. They left us for dead after the 4th of July. It's just been us and a couple of microphones and
mustard.
All right, Dawn, big three at 9.
All right,
please.
here we go. Let's get to Dawn Stenslin.
All right, so big three, and we are sponsored this morning as the clouds and rain are expected to clear for an 83-degree sunny day. We are sponsored by Wawa this morning in the big three. A Philadelphia man who graduated Temple after serving as a United States Marine, now facing one of the toughest punishments imposed by Joe Biden's Justice Department, which is seeking 30 years in prison for Zachary Rill of Northeast Philadelphia. He remained behind bars for more than 2 years since his arrest following January 6th, and Rill and a group of so-called followers of this group of the Proud Boys on trial and convicted. Remember, the top target in this case, Enrico Tarrio from Florida, he was the former Proud Boys leader and all convicted of seditious conspiracy, which we've reported to you since May.
Yeah.
So just yesterday, DOJ filing this and saying they want all of these men, including Zachary, who was in his early 30s when he was arrested, wife and 2 little kids living in the Northeast here, wants him to spend the next 3 decades of his life. So he would be released presumably in his 60s.
Wow. So we've got that on top of what we gave you earlier this morning in the 645 block with our Mr. Samsel in a broom closet for 5 months with the light on.
Yeah, can we put that back up there, Daniel,
Yeah.
if you can? Those photos that we played or that we put up there in the 6 o'clock hour for people just tuning in or tuning in late.
Yes.
Of a Bucks County man.
Bucks County. Yep, there he is.
Sitting on a gymnastics mat with a yellow bucket and a water bottle.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT to see the photos. But yeah, he's in a broom closet that if he's sticking his arms out, he couldn't even do that because it's so small in there.
It's awful.
And just remember, this is the largest Justice Department investigation in American history.
Correct.
So this is defense attorneys had argued there was no conspiracy, there was no plan to attack the Capitol. They argued all of that, but these men were convicted, including Zach Rill. So of course, we're going to follow this and what sentences ultimately will they get. Hey, there's a search for a kitten killer in Delco.
Oh, no.
A kitty cat
this
killer.
Is horrible.
Oh, this is awful.
Police searching for this man who they say dropped off these plastic bins that were duct taped shut, trapping kittens inside, and then placing them outside, just outside the door of this Delaware County veterinary clinic this summer in the heat, and letting them die, suffer this way.
It's
and
awful.
one of the staffers I saw, she just started crying. You know, it's just, is it targeted? We don't know what's going on here or why somebody would do this, but it's pretty sick.
He drops off these kittens in a bucket or in like a bin on like a Saturday. Or like Friday night and Saturday when they're closed over the weekend. So they don't see it till Monday morning or whatever.
Duct tape, so obviously you can't breathe.
Yeah.
In the heat. I mean, it's just sick.
It's the second time he's done this, right?
Yeah.
The same guy.
Yeah. At least twice that I know of.
And
so
we don't have a suspect.
They're releasing.
Identified, or?
No, I mean they're releasing surveillance images from the area. They're putting out the word. And so it's disturbing. They just want to catch this person.
That guy should be sitting in the broom closet. You stick him in there and get Samsel the hell out.
Amen. With hungry kittens. So, in less than 24 minutes, tickets go on sale for one of the biggest events in sports entertainment coming to Philadelphia, and you can witness it all in person. So tickets are going on sale to WrestleMania 40 at Lincoln Financial Field, South Philadelphia next spring. WWE superstar Cody Rhodes, a.k.a. the American Nightmare. And he calls it the Super Bowl of what we do in sports entertainment.
You know, when we have one of those wrestlers come in March or April to promote it, Dawn, you're going to come in here. We're going to do the interview. It's going to be both of us with the wrestler.
So I'll do the intro for Nick Kayal. We have to have.
Where's the Austin music at? We got to play that again.
We have to have a name for Nick Kayal. So Cody Rhodes is the American Nightmare. So Nick Kayal is the American Dream.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was his father, Dusty Rhodes.
I'll be the Bluebell Bozo.
That was quick. So second time the Philadelphia area hosts a WWE main event, which has also twice happened in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
At Trump Plaza.
They also did it, so it was WrestleMania 4 and 5 at Trump Plaza, and then it was 19, I think it was at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yes.
I was there.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
But this one will be at the Link.
At the Link, and it'll be the weekend of April 6th and 7th.
2 days?
2 days.
Saturday and Sunday.
So do you buy tickets for just one, or do you get tickets for both? Like, how does that?
You pick your day.
You pick your day.
Yeah, you don't get both.
Are you going?
I don't know. Are we going to get tickets?
I might be. Hopefully, I'm out of the country.
I figure we're doing a Kayal and Company WrestleMania Invasion show. We should broadcast live from the Link that day.
Oh my!
I'll do a Kayal and Company Sunday morning remote.
Wow!
Live from the parking lot.
Yeah.
We'll talk Trump and we'll talk Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
It'll be. It'll be you solo. Dawn and I will be home sleeping.
That's fine. Yeah. Me, Sid. We'll just do a bunch of listeners coming by.
I love it.
I'll interview
I love
everybody.
It. Yeah.
Be great.
Well, we are sponsored in the Big Three by Wawa. Wawa's new rechargers are energy drinks for everyday doers. So whether you're going out or you're staying inside, power through your day with a new handcrafted, iced or frozen Wawa recharger. Gotta have a Wawa. What a great time of year with the heat, with sports practices for all the kiddies and high school kids coming up. So thank you, Wawa, for sponsoring our Big Three at 9.
All right. Thank you very much, Dawn, as we get ready for the final edition of What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 for the week.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
Part 2. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 on this Friday is sponsored by Best Work Industries for the Blind. Best Work Industries for the Blind e-commerce stores helping businesses succeed in all work environments. BestWorkSupplyCenter.com offers traditional office products, cleaning supplies, furniture, technology, and more with free shipping and next-day delivery. Shop now and save at BestWorkSupplyCenter.com. BestWorkSupplyCenter.com. I teased this earlier, and I said I would play it at 7:45, and I lied. I lied, guys. I'm sorry.
I've been known to do that. I've said we're going to get to this, and I never get to it. It happens.
What can American families expect to pay for back-to-school items?
Oh, that's right. You did say this.
I know I sent this last night, but I know neither of you read it, so it doesn't matter. I can ask you. Do an over-under. What would you say American families can expect to spend on average for back-to-school items this year? Nick Kayal, you go first.
Well, I got to factor in a few pieces of information here. I'm $54 a book bag. That's going to haunt me for the rest of my days. I'm going to say, on average, I'm assuming this is per child, $378.
Dawn Stanslin.
I'm going to go $900.
Wow.
Dawn's going to win.
Yeah.
900.
All right, here we go. This is cut 9, Daniel.
Families with kids in elementary school through high school can expect to spend an average of $890 this year on back-to-school items. Jackie, that's a new record from the National Retail Federation. It's $25 higher than it was last year. All in, Americans expected to spend an unprecedented $41.5 billion this year.
Wow. It's just... $41.5 billion for about a 6-week stretch of shopping. I mean, what are people going to spend for the holidays? Back to school is usually the second biggest commercial time of the year, except for Black Friday through New Year's.
Well, think about it. Your kids, I swear, there's something about summer and they just grow.
I know,
right? So it's shoes, clothes, coats, not just the notebooks, and they send out the required stuff.
Yeah.
The rulers and the spiral notebooks and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Calculators.
Yep. Oh, everything. Crayons, highlight. It's just
all that stuff.
God.
As if you can't save it for some reason.
You say crayons.
Yeah.
Crayons for little ones.
Little kids take a pack of crayons.
Markers.
Get the Crayola 64. Remember with the little sharpener in the back?
Of course. It costs a whole, $6?
Well, now with Biden inflation, it is $14.
And that doesn't even, I'm assuming that includes all the
books and
sports
everything.
camp books, sports camp stuff, because all the camps are back in.
Yep.
Some of them were this past week. That's me, but for sure, starting the 21st, all your sports. So the gym shoes, all the gear, all that stuff.
It's been, my God, 22 years since I played high school football. Have I told you I played high school football?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, football
so
football cleats back then, I was paying $110. What is your son paying for a pair of cleats now? $150?
Yeah, it depends, and especially because he's now going to be a size 14 shoe.
Good luck finding
Right?
that, right?
So then you got to go online. So we ordered it online. The poor kid doesn't even,
Yeah.
By the way, Dawn, apropos of nothing, I saw the Times Herald had a nice little write-up about GA football the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where Dawn's son goes.
That's what, Germantown Academy?
Germantown Academy. Yeah.
Stocker abbreviated it like we all know. Yeah, a little GA write-up. Like, what?
I mean, most people do.
Grad
Most people that
assistant?
live in this
What
area know.
does GA stand for?
Most people that live in this area do know.
All right.
Just saying.
No, we just had our first meeting the other day, the football meeting. I mean, I think it mitigates the fact that summer is ending. Football, the fall, it's such a great time.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do too.
But none of us love the cost of this. It hurts people.
Well,
it just really hurts.
Dawn will be down at in Ocean City, New Jersey, right? The Friday before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Where we're all off doing that. It's like an all-day football thing, right?
Yeah, it's actually Friday and Saturday.
No.
So it's the battle of the shore. All the area high schools play at Ocean City High School right there. It's just a great time. We tailgate. We don't drink. We just tailgate.
Well, then I'm not coming.
We're not invited, Nick.
Okay.
So everybody's invited. You could, but we just drink the lemonade. There's nothing in there.
Yeah. I'm going to go up and watch my my high school, my alma mater, on opening night in a couple of weeks.
By the way,
new coach.
Since we're all over the place, I went to high school at Matt Seneca.
Yeah. And the guy has got a losing record lifetime, and he's going to be the new coach at Easton.
Oh, boy.
It's an interesting approach.
Oh, boy.
Played at Penn State.
He did. I was actually, yes.
Yeah. Played for Joe Paterno.
Yeah.
But the thing with sports that I love is the coaches, how they're coaching everybody, talking to the kids. Like my son who's recovering from a serious back injury.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, it's all about team building and persevering and discipline.
Yeah.
My other son drove him. They're up at 6:30 in the morning. They're going to practice. It's a job. And
they practice before school?
Well, school hasn't started yet.
Okay,
so football camp is from, the workout, the weight room opens up at 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
So a lot of them there at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we'll pick them up at 5:30 tonight.
Yeah.
Vivek Ramaswamy was on with Jim Acosta.
Oh, boy.
Boy, there's a name I haven't said in a while.
Thank goodness.
Talking about pardoning Trump. Who else would he pardon? This is Vivek, I guess, last night.
There is the prosecution obviously makes the most aggressive statement of its case in the indictment. And assuming that's the case here, as it is in any other case, I will absolutely pardon Trump on day one, January 20th, 2025, when I'm in office.
Would you pardon Trump's other alleged co-conspirators in both the documents and the election cases?
It depends on how the facts match up to the law. I mean, take about the documents case. There are special features of the law that apply to a U.S. president. Literally, the Presidential Records Act treats past U.S. presidents.
But why say you would pardon Trump on day one, but not? But why say you're going to pardon Trump on day one, but not make that kind of blanket promise to the alleged co-conspirators? Shouldn't they get that kind of same pardon offer?
I'm favorably inclined. I'm favorably inclined to do it. But right now, I'm a competitor against Donald Trump in this primary, and I want to be very clear on the side of principle. Though it's against my interest in this race, that's why I think in the interest of uniting this country, it is especially important to be clear about that fact. I expect to maybe making tens of pardons on day one. I think there are countless Americans who have been the victims of politically motivated persecutions through prosecution. Peaceful protesters on January 6th, January 6th defendants who actually have had constitutional due process violations. Julian Assange is someone I've specifically identified as somebody I would absolutely pardon. Ross Ulbricht, Douglas Mackey, others. But I think that the only way we're going to move forward as a country, there can be no reconciliation without truth. We have to put that past behind us. And my top job is going to be to heal the wounds of this nation to lead us forward. Because even look at the conversation
pardoning Trump is going to heal the wounds. Pardoning Trump is going to heal the wounds of the nation.
I do. He's offended by that. He's so butthurt over it.
I think it will be a step towards healing the wounds of the nation.
Vivek came prepared. He had facts. He had names. And Jim really didn't have anything else but to keep going back to the easy, low-hanging fruit of TRUMP. By the way, what time is Jim Acosta doing a show, or is he a fill-in guy?
I can't believe he's still there.
Yeah, I know.
That looked late at night, too, by the way.
No, it was, 11:14 p.m.
Okay, so 38,000 people saw that in America. And that might be generous. All right, that's going to do it for What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2. We'll come back, find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show and who won Twitter today. Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to RINO Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of RINO Shield. John, take it away.
John from RINO Shield here, reminding you that when it comes to painting your home, there is a better way. We all know that traditional paint just doesn't last. And that's why painters only offer a 1-year guarantee. But RINO Shield is different. Our elastomeric ceramic house paint is warranted for 25 years, so you'll never paint again. Don't spend your money on regular paint that just doesn't last. Invest instead in a product that will protect your home and look beautiful for years to come. Let RINO Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation, or find us online at www.myrhinoshield.com.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you feel like you're always looking for another energy boost? Then try Rescue Orosine from Rescue Natural Supplements. As we age, our bodies don't tend to produce enough natural fuel to get rid of that stubborn feeling of fatigue. Well, Rescue Orosine provides just that. Orosine helps by boosting energy production at the cellular level, while also supporting a healthy heart and blood pressure. Right now, our exclusive radio listeners can buy 1 bottle of Orosine, get another one free. Just use the code FUEL when placing your order. Call today, 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online. when you visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Make sure you mention the code FUEL, F-U-E-L, when you call, or use the code at the online checkout. Again, use the code FUEL when buying a single bottle of Oracene to receive a second bottle free.
Enjoy exclusive after-hours access to America's most historic prison all summer long. Night tours, Summer Twilight returns to Eastern State Penitentiary. Select evenings now through September 4th. Explore the historic cell blocks with a self-guided audio tour narrated by actor Steve Buscemi. Grab a drink in the Fairchance Beer Garden featuring Triple Bottom Brewing Company, and take part in special hands-on activities and events. Learn more and get your tickets now at easternstate.org.
Calling a media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Dom Show coming up at noon down at Mulligan's today. The Dawn Show just 9 minutes out as we find out what she has on tap on a Friday edition of the Dawn Show.
Yeah, we got a lot coming up. By the way, 11 a.m. live here in studio. Former U.S. Senate candidate Kathy Barnett, and better known recently as helping to manage and run the campaign for communications of the campaign of Vivek Ramaswamy.
Okay.
So Kathy Barnett in the house at 11 o'clock. So we're excited for that. And I think Anthony Dorenzo hopefully will get her on camera. So we'll do that, and that'll be fun.
Okay.
Coming up at 10, it'll be Michael Graham of the Delaware Valley Journal. And he's talking about the latest in terms of Chester County and talking about McCormick, speaking of Senate candidates. So we'll talk about PA politics and all things Pennsylvania with Michael Graham coming up at 10. But Kathy Barnett, I can't wait to see her in studio in person.
So no Lairbear this morning?
No Lairbear.
He's still in bed laying on the left side?
Yeah, it's Kathy, Kathy Trump's lair.
Oh,
sorry.
Wow.
How does that sound?
Man, he's been kicked to the curb for
about
Kathy.
that?
That's not right.
There you go. For somebody that's working with
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. There you go. All right, we wrap it up today.
Well, before we do that, let me just say that if you're in the if you're down at the Jersey Shore in the Wildwood area, head over to Mulligan's. It's on Hildreth Avenue. Dom's live broadcast from noon to 3. He should have all kinds of special guests and everything. He came back from his vacation just to do this remote.
Was this his Italy trip?
No.
Somebody asked me that yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to Italy at the end of August. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I can't keep track of all these things.
I know.
But yeah, no, he's vacationing in Wildwood, so it's not like he has to go that far.
Right. And Dom very rarely ever takes days off.
It's true.
That's true.
And he's back today for a remote.
He's going to come back. He has all kinds of special guests. So head over to Mulligan's. They are. It's a great place over there. We were down there. Dawn and I and Rich were down there for the Trump rally in Wildwood. It was a huge scene. And Dom has done, I think this is his 3rd remote down there.
So much fun.
They're good people. Yeah.
Hopefully no power outages.
Yeah, last time there was a power outage.
no.
But they have all kinds of drink specials and everything. Mulligan Shore Bar.
Right.
There you go.
I'll be taking a few mulligans tomorrow on the golf course. All right, we wrap it up with Who Won Twitter today.
Who won Twitter?
Ornery Hounds wins Twitter. He says, Nick, your wrestling name, Dome.
Dome.
I like
the
it.
Dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dome!
From parts unknown.
It does sound very ominous.
It does.
Dome.
Very dark.
I love it.
Ornery Hounds wins Twitter on this. What's
All
today?
right.
Friday.
Today's Friday.
Friday.
We're shutting it down. We're done.
No, we're not.
Well, you're not, but I am.
See?
But I'll be listening on the way home, Dawn.
He doesn't.
Listen to you in my truck. My big truck. All right, that's going to do it for us. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next. Have a great weekend. We are back at it on Monday. And as Joe Biden would say when he wraps things up,
all right, God save the Queen, man.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
those stomach issues ruined your birthday?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement.
The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award